Louisiana and Texas State were picked 1-2 in the Sun Belt West Division this year. But now both teams desperate for a win. The Raging Cajuns have to win out to keep postseason hopes alive. The Bobcats, they've lost all 4 of their league games in their final Sun Belt season. But hope springs eternal for the Cajuns and the Bobcats next on ESPN+. Welcome to Our Lady of Lourdes Stadium for the last game between these two as Sun Belt members. Texas State part of a Pac-12 conference makeover next year. The Bobcats would like to cast out a Sun Belt demon before they go. 12 years in the Sun Belt, Texas State has never beaten the Raging Cajuns. Louisiana going for lucky number 13 tonight. Hello again, everyone. I'm Dan McDonald, along with my broadcast partner Eric Mouton, both of us wearing the black as Louisiana honors its military and its veterans today. Ben Schaefer joins us on the sideline shortly. Eric, Texas State had high hopes before this season, before 4 straight Sun Belt losses. They had 3 heartbreakers and then a bad loss to James Madison last week. They have to regroup. Quarterback Brad Jackson's a good place to start.
Yeah, Dan, Coach G.J. Kinney handed the reins to a redshirt freshman to start the year, and he hasn't disappointed. The San Antonio native is completing 68% of his passes for over 2,000 yards. He leads the Sun Belt in passing yardage and threw for 444 yards in his last road game at Marshall. He's also second on the team in rushing. He's elusive, and right now he's the league's best two-way threat.
Cajun coach Mike Desormeaux says his team's in playoff mode, and he's right. UL needs to win its last 3 in order to become bowl eligible and play in the postseason for the 8th straight year. And Eric, that's something they can do if Lutch Winfield keeps eating up opponents.
Yeah, the sophomore from Lutcher took over after injuries to 2 other Cajun quarterbacks and had 5 touchdowns in his coming out party against Marshall. Last week, he was impressive again, completing a school record 93% of his passes, 14 of 15 for 232 yards, and accounting for 3 scores in UL's first road win at South Alabama. When he's rolling, the Cajun offense can do big things.
And we're just about set for football. Another warm day for a November. 83 degrees at kickoff. Just a little bit of a breeze. Probably won't come into too much effect as the sun starts going down. Skies are pretty much clear right over Our Lady of Lourdes Stadium as the Cajuns won the toss and they deferred, so Texas State will get the ball first. Logan Klotz, the redshirt senior from Slidell, will kick it off for the Cajuns in the all-black, and we are underway. Jalen Jenkins, the deep man, he's dangerous. One of the leading returnee men in the Sun Belt Conference, and he's out over the 30, finally hit down at about the 32-yard line. Texas State leads the conference in team kickoff returns this year, and Klotz himself makes the tackle on the play after kicking it off. Texas State in the all-white, Louisiana in the all-black. We should be able to figure out the difference in those tonight. The Cajuns honoring their military and their veterans with Louisiana salutes. A lot of fans wearing the black today in that honor is Brad Jackson, the redshirt freshman from San Antonio. Leads the Sun Belt in passing. Quick handoff up the middle and getting the first call and getting some big yardage. Lincoln Parry, the redshirt senior. Perry, the product of Germantown, Tennessee, transfer from Arkansas State. He's been a big part of this team. Going quickly with some tempo. He'll get the call one more time, and he will be spotted right at the first down marker. They will give it to him at the 43-yard line. First and 10, Bobcats. This time Jackson will be back to throw. He's got the completion on the far side. That completion is to Bo Sparks, and he is the leading receiver for the Bobcats. 51 catches, 741 yards already this year. Again, a quick out, and he puts it back in the hands of Sparks, and he'll be up. They'll spot him actually about a yard short of the first down. Courtline Flowers is there to push him out of bounds. Sparks leads the Sun Belt Conference in receptions this year, so no surprise that they go to him twice here early. 3rd and 1, and quickly Texas State's going to take a timeout as they didn't like what they saw maybe from the Louisiana defense. But Eric gives us a chance to talk about Brad Jackson. Coach G.J. Kinney says, I asked him what his strong points were, and he said basically he just has that it factor.
Yeah, and he's going to look to run this offense. Had a chance to talk to Mike Desimo today, Raging Cajun head coach, and he said explosive plays. They've got to limit the explosive plays. Keep everything in front of them. Make tackles. Don't let these guys get into space and take it to the house.
Here's a look at the two teams offensively so far this year. You see Texas State has been very good when they've had possession of the football. The problem has come on the defensive side. They have been really unable to force really any turnovers this year. They do not have a fumble recovery through their first 8 games. They only have 5 interceptions this year. Check that, only 3 interceptions. So they are well behind on the turnover margin. They've got to produce offensively unless they can turn that turnover around. 3rd and 1 at the Cajun 48. And it'll be the quarterback Jackson trying to pick his way and now trying to bull his way, and I don't think he got there. In fact, that's going to be no gain. It's going to be a 4th down for the Bobcats. Jaden Duggar was leading the way, the Cajuns' middle linebacker.
Yeah, Jackson was patient, kept waiting for a hole to open, but man, everything was plugged up. Then he lost his footing, and a host of black jerseys right there get him off the field.
David Nunez, redshirt senior from Houston, 6th year with the Bobcat program. He came in 2020. Takes his time with it, angling it toward the sideline. Fair catch is going to be called, and that's going to bounce, and it's going to trickle into the end zone. Tough break for Nunez. Cajuns will take over at the 20. When we come back, 12:59 left in the first quarter. Bobcats get 1 first down, can't move. It'll be the Cajuns' turn when we come back.
Injured everyone in the
Welcome back to Our Lady of Lourdes Stadium. I'm your sideline reporter, Ben Schaefer. And folks, both head coaches on the sidelines today have shared similar career paths. They're both some of the youngest head coaches in college football today. When I talked to Coach GJ earlier this week, he said he definitely feels like his youth has helped him in relating to his players and building relationships, which at the end of the day, he said relationships is what head coaching is all about. But he said even more so, and he thinks Coach Desimo would agree with him on this, his experience as a quarterback from a young age has helped him to grow so much in his coaching journey. He said that being a quarterback forces you to be a head coach of sorts and a mentor for your team. And he says that experience has been invaluable for him as he continues to grow as a coach. Dan, Eric, back to you guys in the booth.
thanks, Ben. And both of these two teams have quarterbacks that sort of reflect their coaches' personalities, Eric. First down, Zylan Perry will pick up 5 yards. Lunch Winfield, again, the trigger man for Louisiana last week. 93% of his passes, 14 out of 15 completions. He had more touchdowns than he had incompletions. And he's going deep. He's looking for Shelton Sampson, but that's a little bit overthrown. Looking deep for the Baton Rouge Catholic High product and the LSU transfer. Jaden Rios was running with him. The redshirt senior transfer from East Texas A&M. And so the Cajuns will face a third at about 6. The Bobcats, Eric, they convert on about 49% of their third downs this year, but the Cajuns were able to get a stop on 3rd and 1. We'll see what the Bobcat defense does.
Yeah, I know Coach Des does want to run the ball. Nice gain for Perry on 1st down, then takes a shot on 2nd down on a pretty good ball from Winfield, just a little bit overthrown.
3rd and 6, got some pressure, and Winfield is going to be sacked in the backfield. Tymir Jackson, the senior transfer from East Los Angeles College, is there to make the sack. That's his 3rd sack of the year.
Holding, defense number 4, 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
The secondary, and that is a break for Louisiana as Texas State gets hit for defensive holding in the secondary. And this is a Texas State team that's been hit for penalties 53 times in 9 games. That's something they want to cut down on. Kamari Terrell was the guilty party, the transfer from Oregon. So new life for Louisiana at the 35-yard line. Winfield has Zylan Perry in the backfield with him. He'll work out of the pistol. Perry will, nope, that'll be Winfield who take it himself, and he's going to go past the 40, out near the 45. He's going to step out maybe about a yard short of the first down. Ryan Nolan was running with him, the Hutchinson Community College transfer, who's 2nd on the team in tackles with 48 this year.
Good decision from Winfield right there on the zone read. That defensive end just came in a little bit too much. He saw a lot of turf to his right, and he's able to sprint for a nice gain on 1st down. 2nd and short here for Louisiana.
Sampson is wide left as Winfield calls for it. And he'll keep it himself, and it's going to be stopped short. Nice play by Aiden Jones, the redshirt sophomore weak side linebacker. Tied for 3rd on the team in tackles this year with 39 coming in. So now the Cajuns will face their own 3rd and short.
Texas State brought pressure the last time it was 3rd down and got to him with 5. Only 2 Louisiana offensive linemen have started every game, so they've been moving some guys around. They're all on the same page, but not a lot of experience on that offensive line.
Got a good number I want to get in at some point here about that offensive front. It'll be Perry up the middle. He's got some yardage. He's got a 1st down and still going down all the way to the Bobcat 40-yard line.
Oh, my goodness.
He is still on his feet. Here goes the scrum down to almost the 30. We talked about those offensive linemen. They were behind there pushing their way. The Cajuns have had 15 different players that have played in the offensive line this year, 14 of them in the last 6 games.
And there's a great job opening up the line, and Perry just stays on his feet, and as long as he's moving forward, you can see he's still fighting, still turning those legs, and here come the big fellas to move the pile.
All the way down to the 32-yard line. And from the eye, Winfield puts Brock Chappelle in motion. Handoff once again, and some more big yardage.
That's Davis.
This time it was Bill Davis who checked in after that play to give Perry a break after he was carrying people. Bill Davis rushed for 469 yards this year and 3 touchdowns himself. And now the Cajuns will play some tempo. Davis picks his way through. He's inside the 15, down to the 10-yard line. Louisiana is running right at the heart of the Bobcat defense right now. Terrence Cooks, the middle linebacker, backup middle linebacker, has to make the stop.
Coach Des has to be pleased with his offensive line right now. They're doing a great job opening up some holes, and it's great to have those 2 backs. One gets a little tired, winded. Perry to the sideline. Here comes Davis, doesn't miss a beat.
70 yards, 7 plays so far in this drive as the Cajuns have it 1st and goal from right at the 10-yard line. And again, it's Davis, but this time crashing in from the side, making the tackle for no gain. Marion Atwood, redshirt sophomore from Dallas. Came straight out of high school to the Texas State program, and that's sort of a rarity. They have been built heavily with the transfer portal, but everybody else on the squad, G.J. Kinney was saying, he said, we've got transfers and we've got Texas high school guys, and that's how he's going to make his team going forward, even when they move to the Pac-12 next year.
Perry back in the pistol behind Winfield.
2nd and goal from the 10. Winfield's back to throw, now looking. Rolling to his right, trying to motion somebody. Does he have a man? He a little bit overthrew him. He's trying to get the ball. Was that Kadarius Wade in the back? No, I think that was the tight end, Chappelle. Atwood was there covering him along with Ryan Nolan.
Yeah, a little play action off of the fake handoff, and he tried to come back, lost his footing, and then he slipped again with 2 defenders right on him as Lunch Winfield keeps the play alive after he's flushed but can't find the tight end.
3rd and long for Louisiana, 39% this year on their 3rd down conversions. Winfield's got it. He's going to throw over the middle, and he's got Shelton Sampson in the end zone. Touchdown. The product of Catholic High in Baton Rouge has his 4th touchdown of the year. And Lunch Winfield with his 5th passing touchdown. And Louisiana takes the early lead.
That's a really nice play. Timing right there. As Sampson just gets right in front of the defender, and as he turns around, the ball is right there, makes the catch. Perfect throw from Winfield and a great drive from Louisiana to get on the board first.
Tony Sterner on. One of 8 kickers in the Sun Belt to be perfect on PATs this year. He's 24 out of 24. Make that 25 out of 25. 8:06 left in quarter number 1. Louisiana strikes first. They lead Texas State 7-0. You're watching Sun Belt football on ESPN+. Texas State's Bobcats give up a score on the Cajuns' second possession. Texas State has not had a problem scoring the football this year. Their problem has come on the defensive side of the line. They had those 3 close losses. They lost to Arkansas State by 1. They lost overtime to Troy and Marshall. Now, those numbers are a little bit skewed because they ran into a buzzsaw last week in James Madison and lost 52-20. But their defense has been the the issue, that's the area that G.J. Kinney said during the week when we had a chance to talk to him, that's the area his team has to shore up if they're going to have any success down the stretch and make a run to get back into the postseason play. They've won bowl games each of the last 2 years, and they've had 8-win seasons each of the last 2 seasons. Logan Klotz again to kick it off, and Jalen Jenkins is the deep guy, but this one's going to go into the end zone. Just the 6th touchback of the year for Klotz as a kicker. And Texas State will take over at the 25-yard line. Bobcats got a first down on their first possession, but then came up short on a 3rd and 1 near midfield and had to punt it away, and Louisiana was able to drive it 80 yards.
And Louisiana was about to punt also until that holding penalty in the secondary extended the drive, and Louisiana takes advantage of it and leads 7-0.
Brad Jackson, 2016 passing yards this year. He's also the 2nd leading rusher for this team. Little delay and some running room. That's Greg Burrell, who's checked in now. He's one of the leaders on special teams, but he's also the 2nd leading rusher, but again, a key penalty. Wow, the Bobcats have hurt themselves now twice with penalties. Look over here on the left-hand side, and that's who they got for the penalty. It looked like may have been Emeka Obibo, who got called for the hold. So now it's going to be 1st and 20. 2 on the wide side to the right for Jackson as he's stepping up and he's going for a lot. He's got a man wide open, making the catch at the 35 and being brought down from behind. Big play. And he's found Bo Sparks. No surprise, the leading receiver in the Sun Belt Conference. He got behind the Cajun secondary. Jackson had plenty of time to throw. Tyree Skipper is the guy that made the saving tackle, but not before the Bobcats have it all the way down at the Cajun 23-yard line.
Yeah, I think the cornerback Flowers expected some help deep, and nobody was there.
Jackson will throw it in the end zone. He'll just throw it away as he was under some pressure. He was looking for Maven Anderson, redshirt senior from Mission Viejo, California. He's got 9 catches this year, but had to get rid of it a little quicker than he wanted. So now 2nd and 10.
Yeah, blown coverage, but that was a great ball by Jackson, and they are going with the wind right now as the wind is blowing left to right.
Up the middle, this is the quarterback Jackson. And we talked about him, 427 rush yards this year, 9 touchdowns. Terrence Williams, the redshirt senior from Manning, 2nd leading tackler for the Cajuns with 62 this year. He's the guy who makes the stop. But now it's 3rd and 7. Jackson's back to throw under some pressure. He'll dump it over the middle. Did he make the catch? Yes, he did.
Late flag, too, maybe roughing.
A diving grab by Chris Dawn Jr. But we'll wait and see what the flag is in the backfield.
Personal foul.
It is going to be roughing the passer.
Defense number 6. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
That will be tacked on as Terrence Williams was late getting there.
Yeah, maybe contact to the head. I don't think he went down. Ooh, man. Helmet to helmet. Right in his face mask.
Kind of surprised they're not looking at that one.
Yeah, me too.
Because he did make contact to the helmet. But they'll play on here from the 6-yard line. 1st and goal. Bobcats trying to answer the Cajun score. Little flip to Dawn. He's going on the left side, but no running room there. He's going to be run out of bounds almost right at the line of scrimmage. Maybe picked up 1. Caleb Cabody, the senior from Baton Rouge. was there to run him out of bounds. They'll put it again down at about the 7-yard line. No gain on the play. Actually will go down as a pass completion, but no gain, and it's now 2nd and goal. Jackson back to throw, and now he's under some pressure, and he is going to be brought down. He'll push his way forward and minimize the loss. It's only going to be a loss of about 1 yard, but the Cajuns do get the sack, and now it's 3rd down. Fitzgerald West Jr. has his 2nd sack of the year. So a 3rd down situation. 3 receivers to the right for Jackson. And now a man going in motion that way. But they'll go the other direction, and that was just a mistake in communication. He was looking for Sparks, but the ball got there before Sparks was ready for it.
I think he thought it might have been a back shoulder right there, and Sparks went to the pylon in the corner. Incomplete. Defense holds. Forces a field goal.
Just Jackson's 2nd incompletion. He's 4 out of 6. And that'll bring on Tyler Robles, the redshirt sophomore, transfer from USC. 12 out of 14 this year. He's made his last 5. This one will be from 26 yards. It's high, it's straight, and it's good. 4 minutes and 46 seconds left in quarter number 1. Texas State answers with a field goal. Cajuns still lead at 7-3 here at Our Lady of Lawrence Stadium. G.J. Kinney in his 3rd year as head coach of the Bobcats. He is known as one of the offensive innovators among the nation's younger coaches. Played quarterback at Tulsa, graduated back in 2012, 19-15 with the Bobcats. Back in 2022, he turned Incarnate Word of the Southland Conference into an offensive juggernaut. They went 12-2 that year. And just, he got it from the guys he worked with, some of the coaches he's worked with, offensive geniuses, Gus Malzahn, Mike Norvell, Chip Kelly, Sonny Dykes, and our good friend Mac Brown. He's put together an offensive squad here at Texas State as the kickoff from Michael James goes into the end zone. It'll be a touchback for the Cajuns. Ben Schaefer's prowling the sidelines. Ben?
Thank you, Dan. Coming into this week, Coach Desormeaux described Texas State's offense as being very scary, particularly the variety of weapons on offense and their ability to make big plays and get a lot of yards quickly. We saw Brad Jackson do that on that last drive, but look in the future. This Cajuns defense is definitely going to be working to try to shut down some of those big offensive plays. Dan, Eric, back to you guys.
Thanks, Ben. Cajuns will take over 1st and 10 at the 25. Bill Davis is in the backfield along with Winfield. Winfield will take it himself, tackled almost as he threw it. He has to flip it out. And picking up about 1 yard, that's Caden Jensen, the redshirt freshman, who's back into action after missing the last couple of games with an injury. Didn't play South Alabama last week. The native of Flower Mound, Texas. And I have to say that because I just like saying Flower Mound.
Snyder was in on that play right there. Came off the edge and was right in Winfield's face before he got rid of it.
2nd and about 9. Davis on the cutback. He'll be out over the 30 to about the 33. He'll set up a 3rd and manageable. Be about 2.5. Khalil Alexander, the edge rush end. Redshirt senior out of Charlotte. 6th on the team in tackles this year. Also leads the team in sacks. 3rd and a long 2. Winfield's going to hand it off as Davis is hit right at the line of scrimmage, but I think they call him the bulldozer for a reason. I think he pushed forward and got just enough for the 1st down.
Sure did enough push there as he kind of cuts back right there, has to jump over a Bobcat defender, and they do move the chains. 1st down, Louisiana.
Actually, that was Perry who had checked back in, and he is in the backfield with Winfield. From the pistol, Winfield's got some time. He's going deep, and this is out there. Nice job defensively. It was intended for Robert Williams, but Darius Jackson was right there with him, the redshirt junior from Dallas. Winfield been able to put just a little more air under that, it might have been really interesting down deep, but good recovery by Jackson to break it up. 2nd and 10. Shaking a tackle is Davis again, and he's out over the 40. He'll set up the Cajuns for another 3rd down. 3rd and a short 6. Louisiana just 38% on its 3rd downs conversions this year. That's 10th out of the 14 teams in the Sun Belt. But they are 3 for 3 so far this evening. Pretty much everybody in tight. 2 receivers to both sides in tight, but a flag comes down and the Cajuns are going to get hit. Maybe a false start. And now it's going to be a 3rd and long.
Offense number 64. 5-yard penalty.
Williams,
still 3rd down.
The junior from Lake Charles is hit for that one. Williams playing in his 34th game in that Cajun offensive front. So 3rd, and actually it's going to be right at 11 yards.
Not much movement there, but enough to draw the flag. Now they're behind the chains. This is where Texas State wants the offense, and boy, they're looking. Blitz may bring some pressure here. Here
a lot of white shirts coming after Winfield, and he's going to actually shake loose. And now he's looking downfield. He's just going to dump it off and almost intercepted. Boy, had a great shot at the interception was Traylon Payne. The transfer from Houston, who actually was on the Houston team back in 2022 when the Cajuns played the Cougars in the Independence Bowl, although he didn't play in that game. Winfield was really lucky just to get it away and avoid the sack.
Yeah, did a nice job of staying on his feet, rolling to his left, and boy, paid the price after he released that. 2 Bobcats land on top of him, and he kind of runs off the field gingerly.
Nathan Torney, the 9th oldest player in the country in the FCS. The senior punter from Australia gets it away. It'll be dead at about the 31-yard line, and that's where Texas State will take over. This is the 13th all-time meeting between these two. If you heard our pregame show, Louisiana has won all 12 of the meetings prior to tonight. The first 10 were all by double-figure margins, but the last 2 games these two teams have been decided in the final minute. Jackson's got some running room. He's over the 35, over the 40. He's got a first down. Elusive is the word to use to describe him. G.J. Kinney also used, it kind of reminds him of Colt McCoy, the way he sort of engineers this offense.
Yeah, and good vision right there to see some open area on the quarterback draw for a nice gain. And he's got a burst. He's got some speed, too.
From the 42, and now he's going to take off. He's got some running room again, and a pretty good open field tackle that time. That was Marion Eliam, a sophomore from Monroe, starting just his 4th game of the year. He was injured at Missouri and missed 3 full games, but he has started the last 3. From the 46. Handoff up the middle and a lot of running room. And still going. That's Lincoln Parry. Perry is in the end zone. And no flags this time.
Caught Louisiana in a blitz. They had 7 guys on the line, and they all came once he got through that defensive line. It was a foot race, and he outran everybody into the end zone.
Perry goes 54 yards for his 10th touchdown of the year.
Wow, what a hole right there. And you can see there's no linebackers as they all blitzed.
Tyler Robles will be on for the conversion. 31 out of 32 this year. This one's up and good. 27 seconds left here in quarter number 1. Texas State with the quick strike. And the Bobcats lead at 10-7.
And that's the explosive plays Coach Des talked about wanting to stay away from, and they tried to bring pressure, maybe thinking Jackson was going to drop back and throw, and boy, a big hole right there with all of the linebackers coming as Salgado sent them all, and he's able to take it to the house to take the lead.
Michael Desormeaux in his 4th year as head coach of the Cajuns. 4 years plus 1 game. He actually took over prior to the New Orleans Bowl in 2021. 26-26 all-time with the Cajuns. 16-13 in games in the Sun Belt Conference. He is 3-0 against the Bobcats. Of course, he also played quarterback just like G.J. Kinney, except right now he's playing and coaching at his alma mater. He still ranks in the top 10 in both rushing and passing in the Cajuns' career list. Michael James will kick it off. 27 touchbacks out of 48 kicks this year. But this one's going to be coming out.
Oh,
and that may have been a
goodness.
mistake. A huge hit on Robert Williams. And Williams is down, but so is the guy who hit him. A huge collision at the 10-yard line.
Timeout on the field.
Wow,
injured
what
player.
a collision. Both of them down.
Williams was bringing it out. The kick was high, so good coverage for Texas State, and you see the hit.
That's helmet to helmet, too.
That's Chance Johnson, the redshirt sophomore transfer from Texas A&M. He's on his back being attended to, and so is Robert Williams, the redshirt senior from Humble, Texas. Over near the Louisiana bench, and you can see the concern on the Louisiana bench for both of these guys. Williams is back up on his feet. A little shaky, but he's walking without any assistance, but still on the turf is Chance Johnson. And they do have his helmet off.
Oh, that's
and
a great sign.
Yeah, getting
he's
back
still,
to a sitting position at least.
And it's a violent game. I mean, full speed, sprinting, and then helmet to helmet contact like that. Very dangerous.
You know,
Let's hope that kid's okay.
I'm not a fan of the NFL's rule that they use for kickoffs.
Yeah.
But this is the reason that they do that.
No doubt. These guys are so big and they run so fast these days, hit so hard. Great to see him kind of getting his wits.
Yep. And he's got the water bottle and he's using his own hands to do that. So
I wonder if they're going to get him up or maybe get the cart out there just to help him off the field.
they haven't made any indication yet. I've been keeping an eye on Louisiana's. A couple of their team physicians are out there close by, and they'll make the call in case that is needed. But it looks like they're helping him up, and hopefully he's okay. Oh,
Yeah.
in real time you can just see the contact. Now you saw Williams, he sort of got up to a sitting position almost immediately and then went back down on his back. Not
During
so
the
much
return,
with
personal
Johnson.
foul.
He was
Return team number 16 for blocking out of bounds. Half
he
the
was
distance
down
to the goal.
and
First down.
didn't get up until he had assistance and had somebody on both sides. The Cajuns were penalized away from where that play was. They picked up a penalty for an illegal block, so they will back themselves up even more. They'll have the ball just outside the 6-yard line. We're in the final minute of quarter number 1. The replay booth did look at that for possible targeting, but they said there was no contact with the crown of the helmet. Winfield will roll out. He will pitch it out here, and that's going to be incomplete. Looking intended for Shelton Sampson again. And so it'll be second down, and there's another Bobcat down. And he is in some serious pain. That's Tymir Jackson. And what a loss that would be, the senior defensive end. He had 7 tackles against Marshall just a couple of weeks ago in that overtime loss. Has got good numbers all year, the transfer from East Los Angeles College. Well, get a look. Watch the right side of your screen here. And I think the leg of one of the Cajuns might have come up and made some contact where you don't want to make contact.
That's what it looks like.
So he'll make his way off, and there's no good thing about something like that, but I guess if you have to find a good thing, is that that's something you will be able to come back from fairly quickly. But that does not negate That does not negate how much it hurts. 2nd and 10, Louisiana, still just outside the 6-yard line. Perry in the backfield, quickly over the middle, and it's complete, and the Cajuns are going to pick up a first down. Nice grab on the pass over the middle by Charles Robertson. The product of Zachary makes his 10th catch of the year. Amarian Atwood is there to make the stop, but Louisiana gets out of the shadows of its own goalpost on the last play of the first quarter. 1 in the books here at Our Lady of Lourdes Stadium. Texas State leads Louisiana 10-7. Second quarter. When we come back, you're watching Sunbelt football on ESPN+. These teams have played every year since back in 2013 when Texas State joined the Sun Belt. And the Cajuns have won every meeting between these teams. It's the longest winning streak of any team that the Cajuns have on their regular schedule. And Texas State would love nothing better than to snap that in their last go-round in the Sun Belt. 1st and 10 for Louisiana as Zylan Perry gets the call up the middle. Ryan Nolan rides him down after a short gain. They'll spot it right at the 20-yard line. Bobcats with 153 yards offensively in the first quarter. The great majority of those coming on 2 big plays. Winfield is going to get racked up. He's going to stumble forward and make it a not quite as much of a loss. No gain on the play. They might even spot him for a yard out to the 21. But it's going to set up another 3rd and long. It was Deverick Woods, the Louisiana product himself from Bossier City and Airline High School. Played the last 2 years at Hines Community College. So 3rd and 8 from the 21. Davis is in the backfield. 2 receivers wide right as Winfield back to throw. Pump fakes. Now he'll throw over the middle. He's got an open man. Shelton Sampson found a seam. He's over the 40. Louisiana will have another first down and more. Sampson had the touchdown earlier. And now Louisiana will play some pace. Davis on the cutback. He'll pick up about 5 yards on the first down. Malik Willis, the cornerback, comes up to help on the tackle. Product of Riviera Beach, Florida.
And Texas State continues to try to put pressure on Winfield because if he has time and he can step up in the pocket, he's as accurate as anybody in the Sun Belt.
14 out of 15 last week. This time Davis is racked up right at the line of scrimmage. Actually, that was Perry who checked back in. So now Louisiana will face another 3rd down. They're 4 out of 5 so far tonight. Gives Zylan Perry a gain of 1. Louisiana with 126 yards offensively. J.P. Dieter and Tadarius Collins teamed up on the tackle. That's another 3rd down for Louisiana. Winfield has the snap. He'll throw it out on the right side, and he'll find Landon Strother, the St. Thomas More High School product right here in Lafayette, with his 5th catch of the year. Jaden Rios made the tackle, but not before the Cajuns pick up their 8th first down.
Good route from Strother right there. Just get to the chains. Little in route. Nice throw from Winfield to move the chains right there. Tried to play fast, but couldn't get the ball spotted. Empty backfield now for Winfield.
He's going to lob it down the sideline, and that's Shelton Sampson once again.
Great throw. What a throw right there from Winfield with time.
Aiden Jones is there to make the tackle, but not before Sampson has another big catch.
Watch where he puts this ball right in between right there. I mean, perfect move the sticks.
A healthy Shelton Sampson makes a big difference in this team. He messed up a hamstring against James Madison. He was also dealing with a finger injury throughout the fall camp. People said that he had some drops early in those first couple of games, but a lot of that had to do with an injury. 1st and 10. Winfield will roll back the other way. Now he's going to throw wide open to tight end. Welcome back to the lineup, Caden Jensen. He's got his first touchdown in a Cajun uniform.
Great call, great execution right there. Play action gets everybody looking one way. Winfield rolls around, throws another strike for a touchdown, and Louisiana back in front.
Offensive coordinator Tim Leger says that Jensen has an NFL skill set. He showed why that time. But he's also a member of a nominee for the All-State American Football Coaches Good Works team. So not only is he a football player. Tony Sterner is on to attempt the point. It's up and good. 11:24 left in the first half. Cajuns strike right back. They lead the Bobcats 14-10. You're watching Sunbelt Football on ESPN+. It's no surprise that we've got a lot of points on the board early in this one. Both of these teams have two of the best young dual-threat quarterbacks, not just in the Sun Belt, but in this whole southern part of the country. The difference in the numbers is that Brad Jackson, of course, has been the starter for Texas State all year long, over 2,400 yards in total offense. He leads the Sun Belt with 252 yards passing per game. Now, Lunch Winfield, he's only made 4 starts. He took over after a couple of injuries decimated the Cajun quarterbacks. Walker Howard was the starter this year. They turned it over to Daniel Beal when Howard was hurt toward the end of game number 1. But Winfield was more effective, took over against Marshall, and he has taken over as the starter, completing 57% of his passes, but he's also rushed for 450 yards in the last 4 games. The kick will come down to Jenkins again, and he is going to be racked up at the 15-yard line, maybe even inside the 15. So that's where Texas State will take over. Caleb Cabody, playing on special teams, was down as part of the crew making the stop. So Texas State takes over. They will spot it at the 15. And Perry is in the backfield with Jackson. He brings Evans across in motion. Pass will be out and complete. Over the 20, he'll go back to Bo Sparks. Sparks already with his 4th catch of the ball game, including that 62-yarder. Marion Eliam and Brent Gordon Jr. team on the stop as Texas State will again play pace. But that time, Perry is wrapped up in the backfield. Jalen Kreider was the first guy there. The graduate student from Stowe, Ohio, by way of Toledo and Youngstown State. 15 tackles and a couple of sacks this year. So 3rd and just under 5 yards from just outside the 20-yard line. Bobcats 0 for 2 on 3rd down so far tonight. Jackson on the pass, and that's going to be broken up, and it's intercepted. Bounces off the receiver, and in the right place at the right time, Cody Jackson. Cortland Flowers is the guy who made the first contact. And it popped right into the hands of the sophomore from Shreveport. So again, Texas State hit by a turnover.
Yeah, and that's a great play. They try to go with the quick slant to get that first down. It's deflected, and they come up with the takeaway in positive territory. Great field position here for Winfield in the offense.
Bobcats are way on the downside of turnover margin this year. They've only forced 3 turnovers all year. That is their 11th turnover offensively.
And Coach Des talked about winning that battle. They're up 1-0 so far. 1 takeaway for the home team.
From the 25, Winfield a run all the way, and he is wrapped up in the backfield.
Jackson got to him.
Tymir Jackson, and good to see him back in the ball game after he had that contact play earlier. Jackson's made some big plays this year. A couple of sacks. He's got 5 tackles for minus yardage. That was his 6th of the year. So 2nd and long, Cajuns back at the 29. Davis is in the eye. Strother comes in motion. It'll be Davis. Cut back, finds a little bit of a seam. He'll get back the yardage lost. But Louisiana is now going to face a 3rd and long. Khalil Alexander was again in there. Charlotte product. Along with the linebacker Cole Nillis. Third and just over 10 yards. Winfield fakes the handoff. He'll flip it out here to Strother. He's got the catch, stays in bounds, and he's going to have enough for the first down. just like his dad Lance used to do it.
No doubt about it. Another really good call right there. Play action up the middle. Struggle with motion, gets open and gets a few extra yards.
Bobcats have another player down. And we will take the timeout. 8:46 left in half number one. Cajuns lead at 14-10 and threatening. He's played here at what was then Cajun Field. That was back in 2023. The Cajuns really didn't stop the Bobcats very much all night until the final four possessions. Those final four possessions, Texas State had 2 turnovers and a blocked punt. They scored this touchdown here to take a 13-point lead. But Zeon Chris, the Cajun quarterback, accounted for 2 touchdowns in the last 6 minutes. Louisiana trailed by 13 points in the fourth quarter, but rallied back to win that one by a score of 34-30 and keep their winning streak alive against Texas State. Louisiana will have it 1st and 10 at the 12-yard line. Winfield will hand it off to Davis. He's got a seam, and he is going to get into the end zone. The bulldozer with his 4th touchdown of the year. I guess I should say the bulldozer.
That's him. Defense takes it away, puts them in great field position. The offense cashes in, and that offensive line doing a nice job of opening up holes, and Perry and Davis don't need much room. Those guys know what to do with the rock once they get it.
Well, he ran headlong into Javis Minath, the safety, and just was able to get past him and lean into the end zone. Tony Sterner makes his 27th in a row. 8:29 left here in quarter number 2. The Cajuns take advantage of the turnover, and they lead the Bobcats 21-10. Bill Davis with the touchdown to cap a 25-yard four-play drive after the interception. The Cajuns have the triple threat running attack. You know, it wasn't very many years ago that Louisiana talked about the three-headed monster they had at running back. Of course, you're including the quarterback Lynch Winfield in that, but they have accounted for 1,465 yards this year. Perry and Davis being a really strong 1-2 for these two teams. There you get, I think that is Bill back there behind, sitting on the bench. You know, Bill Davis is also, you know, he does a lot more than football. We'll talk about it right after the kickoff if we get an opportunity, as this is going to go down again to Jalen Jenkins. Bobbles it for a second, but now brings it out. He's going to be run down at the 12-yard line. You know, we talked about Bill Davis. He does a lot more than football. Just last month, he was named to the NCAA Division I FBS Oversight Committee, and he's one of only 2 student athletes in the country that are on that committee that oversees the administration and governance of FBS football, including rules, policies, championship structure, and so forth, and enhancing the experience for all student athletes. Cajun Athletic Director Dr. Brian Maggard and Sunbelt Commissioner Keith Gill also sit on that committee. So it's a pretty impressive group. 1st and 10 for the Bobcats. Trying to get something going here after Louisiana took advantage of a turnover on the last possession. And finding some running room over the middle and still going, putting his head down. That's Greg Burrell, the sophomore from Las Vegas. Marion Eliam is there to make the stop, but not before the UNLV transfer adds to his rushing total. He averages 6 yards a carry this year. He's only been tackled for a loss one time. But that time he gets wrapped up almost right at the line of scrimmage. No gain. And now again it'll be 3rd and short. Only need about 1 yard. Last time it was 3rd and short. Jackson tried to take it himself, and he got stopped short of the line to gain. We'll see what the Bobcats do here on 3rd and 1. They'll hand it off. Perry again. He gets hit hard, but he's out to the 30-yard line, and he'll pick up the first down. Nice hole opened up that time by that experienced offensive line. Cody Jackson is the guy that finally makes the stop. But a 1st and 10 for the Bobcats at the 30. Perry still in the backfield with Jackson. And Jackson's going to pull it back, and he's going to look to throw. He got hit right when he turned it loose. Is it a loose ball? Is it a fumble? They're letting him go. It may be a fumble, and it was picked up by Cameron Whitfield. Jordan Lawson made the first hit. But they will rule it right now a fumble. And that is now back-to-back turnovers by the Bobcats. And the turnovers continue to rear their ugly head for Texas State.
Yeah, I'm not sure that ball ever came forward. That looked like a fumble.
Cameron Whitfield, he does those
Really
big
on the
plays
field
a
is a
lot.
fumble recovered by the defense.
Last year he had 6 sacks. Ben Schaefer's on the sideline. Ben, what do you have?
Thanks, Dan. Coming into this game, Coach Desormeaux said that as far as the team is concerned, they're in week 2 of the playoffs right now as they try to win out to make a bowl game. And I just want to say, you can see that intensity on that Cajun sidelines. These guys are all business, locked in, and frankly, it's quite scary if you're going up against them right now. Dan, Eric, back to you guys.
Less than 6 minutes left in the first half, as Louisiana trying to take advantage of a second straight turnover. 1 on an interception, 1 on a fumble recovery.
And great field position for the offense. Here's Perry.
Perry gets held up as he crosses the 15. Hanging on to a shoestring, one of the Bobcat tacklers. Ryan Nolan had him by the foot, but Perry will pick up about 3 yards inside the 15. They'll spot it at the 14.
Coach Dez and Coach Leger continuing to keep pounding, keep that running game going, because you can do so much off of it with play action, and also Winfield can hurt you with his legs.
Perry going on the left side this time. He's going to get racked up, though, this time after a gain of maybe only about a yard. Traylon Payne, leading tackler for the Bobcats this year, 72 of those through the first 8 games. Leads the team in solo tackles and total tackles. Out of Houston, 5th in the Sun Belt, 9 tackles per game. And he sets Louisiana up with a 3rd and a long 5. Jensen, the tight end, will flank out to the left. Winfield's got it, looking for Jensen again. No, he's looking for Sampson. Did he get the foot down?
Had it
They'll
for a
say
second.
no. He had it for just a second. I
Ruling
think
on
the
the
ball
field
came
is an
loose.
incomplete
Ripped
pass.
out.
But wait, the 2 officials are still in the end zone talking about it.
Here's a look.
Apparently they will stick with incomplete.
Man, he got 2 feet down and a couple steps out of the end zone. Then it was ripped.
Kamari Terrell is there to make the breakup.
Now they're going to
And
look
now
at
they're
it.
going to look. The
I think
replay
it's a touchdown.
Replay officials have buzzed down.
The ruling on the field of an incomplete pass
Colin
is under
Backett,
video
our
review.
replay official, Jay Haygood, the communicator. Both of them have been here before, good guys, and they will take a look at it. And this one, from the look I had, this one's really close. Now, is there enough to overturn?
Looked like he got not just 1 foot, got 2 feet in and maybe a couple of steps out of the end zone. Then it was ripped away from a D-back from Texas State. But looked like he had control, finished it, got out of the back of the end zone, then the ball was ripped.
That's our referee, Brandon Kirkland, who's got the headset on. And I know I've said it before, but I'll say it one more time. Replay has shown how many times these guys actually do get it right. Did he have possession? That's
After
the
video
question.
review, the ruling is
And
a
they have
touchdown.
called it a touchdown.
Thought so. I thought he had it long enough. Great throw, too.
Shelton Sampson with his 2nd catch for a touchdown tonight. Boy, having him healthy is such a big difference for this Cajun receiving corps.
And Zylan Perry sacrifices his body, takes a blitzing linebacker right there, protects Winfield. He can step into that throw, and a perfect throw. Pretty good defense, too, but not good enough.
Tony Sterner on for the conversion. 6:36 left here in our first half. A flag is down on the extra point attempt. So far this year through 9 games, the Cajuns have only scored 34 points off opponents' turnovers.
Illegal formation, defense. That penalty is
They've got
declined.
14
The try is
tonight
good.
off of turnovers, and that's why they lead this one by 28-10. They'll wave that one off on the illegal formation. Somebody probably lined up over the center.
Yep, and Coach Salgado dialing it up. 2 big-time takeaways. Great field position for Coach Dez in the offense, and Lunch Winfield. And they make it pay off and cash it in and extend the lead 28-10.
This is one of 4 games in the Sun Belt Conference today. A lot of teams open today. Old Dominion, Troy, ULM, and South Alabama all not playing. Here's another look at what set it up. The big hit from behind by Jordan Lawson, who's now got 9 quarterback hurries this year. That's the most of any of the Cajuns. Cameron Whitfield made the recovery. 3 plays later, Winfield finds Sampson, and the Cajuns now up by 18. And still 5 minutes, 36 seconds left in the first half as Logan Klotz comes up to put a foot into it. This will be Jalen Jenkins again. Got a hole up the middle, but then he is hit hard as he goes across the 20-yard line. Had a hole for just a moment, but then it closed up quickly.
Yeah, and kickoff coverage has been really good. The 2 possessions before pinned them deep, forced them into a throw, which ended up with the interception, and then the pressure and another throwing down because of field position, and they get the turnover again.
Actually, that wasn't Jenkins on the return. That was DJ Taylor, redshirt senior from Tampa, transfer from Cincinnati, who was back deep on the kickoff that time. So 1st and 10 Bobcats at the 23. Perry in the backfield with Jackson. He'll get the call. He's got a seam. He's going to go right up the middle. Pick up good yardage to about the 30-yard line. And there's a stoppage of play. Somebody's helmet might have come off. It might have been one of the Cajuns. Elian might have lost his helmet, so he goes out.
Yep.
2nd and 4. Jackson back to throw under some pressure, but he escapes it. He's going to run forward. So elusive. He's got a first down. Before Terrence Williams runs him down.
Great vision, great feet. 2 new safeties in the game for Louisiana. Clark and Skipper are out. Number 8, Cody Jackson, and number 46, Lake Bates in the game.
Quick throw on the out. That's again Bo Sparks who makes the catch. Brent Gordon is there to make the stop. That might be Lake's first appearance of the year. He has not made very many in the secondary. Jackson's going to throw deep, and he's looking for Sparks again. Did he make the catch? Yes, he did, and he's kept a foot in bounds. Well, he is a weapon. Brent Gordon finally ran him down and pushed him out of bounds, but inside the 25-yard line.
A great throw, too. One-on-one on that side. They sent everybody to the right side. One-on-one, he's able to get by him, and a great throw from Jackson.
1st and 10 at the 24. Bobcats trying to play some pace, and he hits the tight end, and into the end zone is Titus Lyons, the transfer from Cisco Junior College. And just like that, the Bobcats strike right back. 6 plays to get the touchdown to put some right back in it.
Split him out wide. Gordon ended up on him again. Kind of a little hitch and go. Gordon comes up. Lyons runs right by him. Jackson throws the strike. Big time answer. Much needed points there for the Bobcats.
Lions' 3rd touchdown of the year. Robles on for the extra point. 4:26 left in the first half. We thought we would have a shootout. We've got it. 45 points scored. And we've still got time in the first half. And just, of course, this is for information purposes only. The over-under in this game was 63.5. Not that we condone that, but just a fact. They knew there would be a lot of points scored in this one.
Louisiana get the ball to start the second half, Dan.
Cajuns get the ball to start the second half.
Maybe a little make it take it here. Nice time-consuming drive. Get some points heading into halftime. Be nice.
And since we're providing information, Texas State was a 2.5-point favorite in this one. Again, for informational purposes only.
Correct.
Michael James sends it into the end zone, but coming out with it and finding a little bit of running room out over the 30, still going over the 35-yard line. That's Jacorian Norris. Takes over there after Robert Williams got hit hard on one of those earlier returns. And I don't think he's returned to the game yet. But Norris does a good job of giving the Cajuns decent field position out over the 35.
Great job. 6'1", 195, redshirt freshman from Pineville, Louisiana, played at Tioga. That's a really good return right there. Puts the offense in a pretty good spot here, good field position.
Perry's going to go in motion. He's going to take the reception out at about the 30. He's got a little running room. Hurdles a tackler and gets over the 45. Don't know if Perry ran track at Franklin High School, but he Probably learned the hurdle there, although getting just enough of them was Ryan Nolan to bring him down.
He did everything at Franklin High School. He was a heck of a basketball player, too. Had a chance to play against them. Franklin, really good teams. Went to the state championships a few times. Coach Tremaine Johnson doing a great job over there. He coaches football and basketball at Franklin.
2nd and 1 as Perry's going to get the first down and more. He's over midfield. He's down to the Bobcat 45-yard line.
Another nice hole right there by that offensive line, doing a great job of giving him a little room, a little ground and pound.
Perry will get the break. Davis will likely come in. Didn't see him come to the huddle. Yes, he's in there with Winfield in the backfield. And Winfield will keep it himself, rolling to the right. He'll flip it out here to the tight end. Brock Chappell, the native of Sanford, North Carolina. Makes his 9th catch of the year. Check that, his 10th catch of the year, 2nd catch of the evening.
And Zero Jackson in the backfield again, putting some pressure on Winfield, forcing to throw that pass a little bit behind the tight end. As you can see him right there chasing him down. If he'd have led him right here, he might have had a little room to run and turn the corner, but good pressure again from Jackson, who's battling through some injuries.
Good to see Jackson back in the game.
Yes.
He's had to go out a couple of times with some hurts. This is Davis up the middle, and he will bull his way down over the 35-yard line and pick up another first down. And with that play, both of these teams are now over 250 offensive yards, and we're still in the first half.
Yeah, and that offensive line went in the battle in the trenches. We talk about it so often where those games are won, and they're doing a nice job right here on this drive.
Timeout's going to be taken on the field. Actually, it's the 2-minute timeout. 2 minutes left in the first half. Louisiana leading Texas State 28-17. You're watching Sunbelt football on ESPN+.
Here in Acadiana,
A point of emphasis for both of these teams coming into today. The Cajuns had not scored a lot of points off turnovers, but they pick off one pass on a deflection. Bill Davis turns it into a touchdown. Then later on, they get another turnover, scores another touchdown. They'd only had 34 points off those turnovers so far this year. On 1st and 10, Winfield will flip it out again to his tight end. Actually, this is the third Cajun tight end, Trey Miller, who makes the catch, the graduate student from Weston, Nebraska, but there is a flag down.
That's going to go against Texas State. In the secondary, out of bounds, a little post whistle activity.
After the play was over, personal foul, offense number 0.
Oh, wow.
Personal foul, defense number 23. Those fouls will offset.
Offsetting penalties, and that is a break for Louisiana because the play will stand as both of them came after the play. So the reception for Trey Miller, his 11th of the year. Miller played at Wayne State for 5 years and is in graduate school now, playing his last year of college football.
Wait, you said he played for 5 years?
5 years at Wayne State.
What is going on?
I'm sure there was a red shirt in there. There's probably an injury in there. Now, the rules are just now, they're just suggestions.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, what a play. Winfield.
Winfield shakes
balance.
loose, trying to pick up a little more yardage. He ran a long way to pick up about 4, but he really showed his athleticism, and I think that there's another flag down. Or did Texas State take a timeout?
Timeout.
Yep.
I think they
Texas
may
State.
have.
That is their second of the half. Be 30 seconds.
The Bobcats trying to save a little time on the clock to give themselves a chance to do something here before the end of the half. They'll put a few seconds back on the clock, but boy, Lunch Winfield really showed his athleticism there, shaking loose from a tackler. At halftime, we'll have a conversation with Louisiana head coach Michael Desormeaux, and we'll talk about not just this week, but the upcoming weeks for the Cajun program. Louisiana in a situation that they have to win tonight and win their final 2 games to have a chance at the postseason. They travel to Arkansas State 12 days from now. That'll be that Thursday night game up in Jonesboro, Arkansas. And then they will come back home for the home finale. That's on November 29th. That is the Saturday after Thanksgiving. They will take on old-time state rival ULM. Arkansas State with a tough loss to Southern Miss today. I believe 6 turnovers in that game, including 1 on the final play of the game. Winfield will sort of power his way forward. He'll get down to about the 15-yard line. And the Bobcats will take their 3rd and final timeout with 1:38 left.
Texas State.
Quarterback draw there from
Third and final
Winfield.
timeout of the
Texas
half.
State ready for
It'll
it.
be 30 seconds in length. Game clock operator, please set the clock to 1:39.
The Louisiana product from Bossier
Thank you.
City, played at Airline High School before going to Hines Community College. Is there to make the stop. Cajuns will have a 3rd and a long 7. Well, about 7 yards when they come back as they try to keep possession. And Eric, as you said, try to play a little make it take it, because Louisiana will receive the kickoff to start the second half. Lunch Winfield stepped in for the Cajuns when they badly needed him in that game against Marshall. And all he did in that game was account for 5 touchdowns. As Louisiana won that one in overtime, 40-37. And he scored the winning touchdown in overtime himself. And you see his numbers there, what he's done since he took over. And they're averaging about 5 points per game more than they did before he stepped in as the quarterback. And he'll have it 3rd and 7. Perry in the backfield, 2 men flanked to the right. Now Winfield's got some running room. He's going to take off. He's at the 10. He's going to pick up a 1st down. And he's got the Cajuns down inside the 10, close to the 5-yard line. And now Louisiana has the clock on its side.
And that's a good decision. No hesitation. Anything but a pick right there. You don't want to take a pick or a sack. You're in field goal range. So he decides just to tuck it and run. If he couldn't get it, they'll take the 3 points but the big-time quarterback and athlete picks up the first down. 1st and goal.
He'll snap it with about a minute left in the first half. And Winfield will roll out to the right. He's going to flip it out here and tackle just short of the goal line. That's again the tight end, Brock Chappell. They'll spot him at the 1. Gain of 6 yards is at the 1-yard line. 2nd down. Louisiana still has all 3 of its timeouts, so they don't have to be in any hurry here. Ryan Nolan makes the stop. Former junior college All-American. He had 7 interceptions his year at Hutchinson Community College.
And that's a nice solo tackle by him on the bigger opponent right there to keep him out of the end zone.
Chappell 6'5", 252, and now Louisiana's going to run the clock down to just a couple seconds, and they'll take their first timeout.
Timeout. Louisiana.
24 seconds
That is
left
their
in
first
half
of the
number 1.
It'll be 30 seconds in length. Game clock operator, please set the clock to 25 seconds.
We've got
2-5.
well over
Thank you.
500 yards in total offense by these 2 teams combined. This is the Cajuns' 6th possession of the first half. On their first 5, they've got 4 touchdowns and 1 punt. Texas State, they also had 6 possessions in the first half, 2 touchdowns and a field goal. But they also had a punt on their first possession, but that interception and the fumble, that's pretty much the difference in this game, and Louisiana able to make both of them count. You look at the numbers for this Bobcat team and the turnovers. I mean, you keep going back to it. They have not recovered a fumble all year long. The secondary only has 3 interceptions all year long. There's no question they can move it up and down the field offensively. But you do need a little help from that other side of the line of scrimmage sometimes, and that's really been an issue in all these close conference losses. Winfield is going to take it himself. Did he get in? Yes, he did. The linesman from the right side says yes, he crossed the plane. And if that holds up, it'll be Winfield's 6th rushing touchdown of the year. I'm sure they're taking a look at that one on the replay, as Winfield was initially stopped, but then pushed his way forward.
Ball is across
Ball
right there.
looks like it's touching the white,
But you can't see his knees.
you
to tell if
can't
he was down
really
or
tell
not.
if he's down. So,
And it's good. They're gonna. Yep, confirmed.
and they have confirmed that it is a touchdown. So credit Lunch Winfield with the 1-yard score, his 6th score of the year. And Tony Sterner will be on for the conversion. High snap, but still gets the kick up and good.
21 seconds to go. Louisiana 35, Texas State 17.
Louisiana with its biggest offensive half of the season. 285 yards offensively here in the first half. And they've done it both ways. 128 yards rushing, 157 yards passing. Here's a look at that touchdown. You see Winfield, a little bit of a hesitation, but then, yes, able to push it forward just enough, and he got it over the goal line. And I don't think his knees were down, although he was getting pulled from the back end. Aiden Jones, the weak side linebacker, was trying to drag him back out of the end zone.
Yeah, and let's not forget Jacorian Norris on that kick return set up the offense in pretty good field position as he made a couple of guys miss, and he was in there for the injured starter. So a nice return puts them in good field position, and they get to pay dirt, and now a chance to play a little make it take it, as they will get the ball to start the second half as well.
It's again DJ Taylor Jr., who is deep for Logan Klotz's kickoff, as they'll kick it away from him, and a fair catch is going to be called, and then fumbled out of bounds.
Didn't catch it cleanly, muffed it. They'll take a knee anyway.
That was the tight end Titus Lyons, who
Game
had the
clock
touchdown
operator,
pass
please set the
just
clock to
a
19
few minutes
seconds.
ago.
1-9.
But that's going to go out of bounds at about the 5-yard line. The Bobcats almost assuredly they're going to just take a knee here and go into the locker room.
Well, it's not victory formation, but he's not going to be in the end zone, so could be just, I mean, he's at the half-yard line, the quarterback Jackson.
3 wide receivers are out, 1 to the right, 2 to the left. Jackson's going to call for the football. He's going to try to make something happen. No, he's going to hand it off this time. I believe it was Perry, the running back. And he'll pick up about 3 yards, and that will run out the first half. And a big offensive half for the home team, Louisiana Raging Cajuns. They put 35 points on the board.
This is the end of the
score
second
on
period.
5 of their 6 possessions. And they lead Texas State by a score of 35-17 as we go into halftime. Halftime activities when we return. You're watching Sunbelt Football on ESPN+.
halftime of Raging Cajun Football. I'm Dan McDonald, wearing the black as we honor our military and servicemen, and especially our veterans for their sacrifices in order to keep this country great. And special shout out to our producer, Joe Bio, one of those veterans. Thank you, buddy. Thrilled to have with us Coach Michael Desormeaux. And Coach, go back to last week just for a moment. The great win over South Alabama, first road win, that had to be a big relief for your team.
Yeah, I mean, we needed it bad, and we've been in some close ones on the road and just kind of come up a little bit short. So to go in there and I think play a really good team game and come out with a win was something we desperately needed. Not just for the potential of keeping your postseason hopes alive, but just for the team. I mean, it's really hard to work as hard as those guys do and just keep coming up a little short. So certainly it was a much better Sunday, after you found a way to win it.
I thought in the first half, you probably played one of your best halves of the season as far as a complete team effort.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, offensively, we scored on every drive. One of them was a field goal, but it was, still a good drive, got down there, came up short on third down. Defensively, we gave up one touchdown drive. It was a 16-play drive. They had to earn it the whole way down the field. Special teams were clean. So, yeah, I mean, it was really good, to go in the lead, into halftime with a lead like that. I think the big swing was probably right before half, being able to get the stop and tack on another touchdown to go 24-7 in at half. You felt like you're in a pretty good spot, and you just had to, find a way to go finish the second half.
We'll be back to talk about what's upcoming when we return. You're watching Raging Cajun Football on ESPN+.
From church.
Well, with head coach Michael Desormeaux. And, Coach, you talked about getting off to a fast start, and a lot of that probably came with the throwing game. And I know Lunch Winfield had a great week, a great weekend, but it wasn't just him. You had a lot of things that really came together.
Well, yeah, I mean, just like we said, whenever the throw game wasn't great, it's not all the quarterback. Well, when it's really good, it's not all the quarterback either, right? It starts with protection. The receivers made big plays down the field, made some tough contested catches. And certainly the quarterback played great. Made really good decisions, was very accurate with the ball, really decisive. It takes a lot of different people to make it all work. And, fortunately, we were able to get that clicking.
You showed what a healthy Shelton Sampson can do, but also your offensive line. That has been just an injury, has been just decimated that group all year long. Starting to maybe come back together, getting a few of those guys back in action and playing as a unit.
Yeah, the challenge this year has been, in 9 games, we've had 8 different lineups on offense, and 7 of those being on the offensive line, people in different spots. I thought last week, Coach Former and Coach Burkhalter did a really good job putting the pieces where we needed them, getting them ready to play. The reality of it is you got to kind of figure out how to get all 5 to play as one. I thought our tight ends played really well, without Caden Jensen in there, which is something we were concerned about. Brock and Trey Miller stepped up and played really well. It was good. And this week, hopefully, you can kind of continue to keep that rolling a little bit and build momentum off of the way those guys played together.
We'll be back to talk about what's upcoming when we return. You're watching Raging Cajun Football on ESPN+.
From Church Auditorium.
with head coach Michael Desormeaux. And, Coach, your team in a must-win situation as far as keeping your postseason hopes alive last week. No different this week, but that goal is still there.
It's still there, and it has to be really important, you know, and that's what we talked about is every week's about keeping that dream alive that our team has. And, you know, when you play a team like Texas State, you know, you just got to stay in the fight. You know, they can score quickly, you know, but you can also kind of put the momentum out and get your team going and find a way to go chip away and get back in it no matter how it goes. So, you know, we knew going into this week it's going to take a total team effort, and it's going to take 60 total minutes. So for us to keep this thing alive, you know, we've got to be all in on it, and we got to do whatever it takes to, you know, find a way to get a win in after 60 minutes.
It was almost like a playoff game for you last week. Same thing this week, and it will be the same going forward. Has your squad sort of embraced that?
Yeah, well, you have to. You know, I mean, that's the thing is, tell them that there can be no question about who wants it more. You know, when you turn the tape on, the effort, the intensity, it has to say that this game's more important to us than it is to anybody else. And, you know, that's the only way that you can win these types of games. And it's, you know, I think we're usually, you know, unfortunately, kind of when our back's against the wall is usually when we play the best. At some point, that seems to happen almost every year. But, you know, here we are. And, you know, we got to find a way to go scratch them out week after week to earn that 13th game.
Well, Coach, good luck to you going forward tonight, and good luck to you for the rest of the season. Hopefully, good luck to you in that postseason that I know you and so many of these guys want to reach once again.
Yep. Thank you, Dan.
We'll be back with the second half when we return. You're watching Raging Cajun Football on ESPN+.
Hub City for
Back to Our Lady of Lourdes Stadium, where Louisiana's Raging Cajuns lead Texas State 35-17 as we go to the second half on Louisiana Salutes Night here at the stadium. And the halftime activity honored area veterans and active military members. Cajuns wearing the black uniforms to honor those, and the black was very successful in the first half. Winfield found Shelton Sampson for a touchdown, but quickly getting an answer. Lincoln Perry went 54 yards for a touchdown that gave the Bobcats a 10-7 lead at the time. But then Winfield found a wide open Caden Jensen, the tight end, for a 27-yard score. And then the turnover bug hit Texas State, and Louisiana was able to take advantage. Bill Davis went in from 12 yards out. And then here came the second turnover, a fumble that was returned by Cameron Whitfield down inside the 20. And here comes Shelton Sampson again, getting a catch that was looked at on replay and was finally ruled a touchdown for Sampson. Eric, you look at those halftime stat numbers and they pretty much tell the story of the game. It's not that out of hand for either team, except for the two turnovers.
Yeah, the defense taking over on those back-to-back possessions with the interception and then the sack and fumble recovery, giving Lunch the short field. And they do get the touchdowns to extend the lead, and they'll get the ball here to start the second half, up 35-17.
Jacorian Norris is one of the deep guys, and is that Bill Davis that's the other deep man, or can't really tell. It's not Flowers, it must be Davis, but the kick's going to go down to Norris at about the 2-yard line. He's going to take it himself, and he gets hit hard just past the 20. One of the Cajun helmets came off.
Flag at the 15.
Flag is back behind the play, and that's usually not a good thing for the team making the return.
Holding. Return team number 83.
It will be a hold called on the Cajuns. So Louisiana will start deep in its own end of the field to start the second half after both of these teams really had impressive first half offensive performances. 285 yards for Louisiana, 261 yards for Texas State. Cajuns had 17 first downs in the first half. And they'll have a long field to work with for their second possession. They've scored on their last 5. And Perry is going to be wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage. Pretty much no gain. Khalil Alexander, the redshirt senior from Charlotte. Got 26 tackles, 6 tackles for losses this year. That one, well, actually it was for a loss. They're going to spot it back 1 yard behind the line of scrimmage, so 2nd and 11, Louisiana. Winfield will roll out. He'll flip it out to the tight end. Once again, that's Brock Chappell. Chappell's 3rd catch of the night. Marion Atwood is there to make the stop, the nickelback, but Chappell's catch makes it a 3rd and manageable. Cajuns will have it 3rd and 3. Louisiana was 8 out of 9 on 3rd downs in the first half. Came in only at 38% for the year. Perry's the running back. He'll get the call. He will power his way forward, and he's going to be close. I think they'll say, yes, they'll say he has enough yardage for the first down. Khalil Alexander again in on the tackle, but Perry makes the conversion, and he's going off and holding his right arm a little funny, so we'll have to check there, make sure that he is okay, as Davis will check in at the running back. 1st and 10 Louisiana at the 18. This time it's Davis getting the call, and he is met right in the hole. Boy, it's a big-time collision he had with Javis Minette. Redshirt junior, first-year player from Knoxville. Came out of Wofford. Pickup of 2 for Davis.
Yeah, and on the offensive side of the ball, keys to victory for Coach Dez was taking care of the football. Don't put it on the ground, don't turn it over, and also be able to run the ball. They were able to do that in the first half, and if they can do that again in the second half, they'll get this home conference victory tonight. They'll play action.
Winfield back to throw, has to dodge some defenders, and now he'll flip it upfield and knocked away at the last second. He was intending it for Robert Williams. Marion Atwood made the knockaway, and good to see Robert Williams back in after he took that shot on that kickoff return in the first half.
And Winfield took a shot here low towards his legs. Man, I thought he might, comes down awkward right there. But he seems to be okay. Took him a few minutes to get up, and man, not a bad throw under pressure.
No, Williams had a shot at making that catch. They almost made something out of nothing there.
Now 3rd and long. Here's where Texas State wants them. Maybe put a little pressure and get Winfield out of the pocket again, but they've got to be careful because he can get it done with his legs as well, as we saw in the first half.
Cajuns 9 out of 10. They rush 4. They'll throw it long and make no, unable to come up with the catch. And actually, is it intercepted?
It is intercepted, and that was underthrown again a little bit by Winfield. See if we can get another look at it. He had a step, but I think the underthrow.
Ruling on the field is an interception. First down, Texas State.
Bobby Crosby, the strong safety.
What a play.
Came up with the interception, and that is a big-time play. Jaden Rios is the guy that knocked it away. We'll get another look at it. Winfield put it a little bit underthrown.
Oh, he tipped it up on the ground right to the defender. Wow. Watch him reach with his right hand right there. Keeps it off the turf, and it bounces right to the defender for the pick.
Excellent call by the officials. So Texas State will take over after Louisiana's first turnover. And that is just the 4th time this year that the Bobcats have turned an opponent over. And here goes the quarterback, Jackson. And he'll get hit just past the line of scrimmage by Marion Eliam after a gain of about 2 yards.
Really nice solo tackle right there, and he comes up and makes the tackle on the quarterback.
Quickly coming to this side and able to get away and get a little more yardage. That's Chris Dawn Jr., the junior out of Dallas, Texas, who makes the catch, and another first down for Texas State. That was the 5th interception of the year from Winfield. 3 of those have now come off tipped balls. But 1st and 10 for the Bobcats at the Cajun 45. And picking his way through defenders and still going. The scrum at the 38. This is Greg Burrell. Burrell's only lost 1 yard all season long. And he picks up 6 here. The Bobcats in the hurry up. Jaden Duggar was the guy who made the stop. Jackson is going to be tripped up in the backfield this time. Drennan Fight. They call him Trey. The transfer from SMU out of Tatum, Texas. Gets his first sack of the year. And now it's 3rd and about 10. Jackson has Burrell in the backfield with him, and he's back to throw. He's going to throw it out on the left, but that's going to be short of the first down. Chris Dawn again in on the tackle or on the catch, and Jaden Duggar is there for the tackle.
Offense staying on the field right here.
The way this one's gone, it wouldn't be surprised if the Bobcats went for it on 4th down this entire second half. Because until that interception, they really haven't stopped Louisiana's offense since the first possession of the game.
–
Jackson was signaling toward the bench. I don't know if the communication system was working. 4th and 6. Cajuns bring pressure. Pass is complete, but he's going to be stopped short of a first down. Got it out to Chris Dawn, but Brent Gordon Jr., the freshman from Breaux Bridge and Cecilia High School, comes up with the stop, and Louisiana will take over on the change of possession. 9:52 left in period number 3. Cajuns still lead this one, 35-17.
I'm your sideline reporter, Ben Schaefer, and I was able to talk to both coaches at halftime. Coach Kenny of Texas State was very happy with how his offense has been able to create some big plays to keep their team in this. But he said in the second half he needs his defense to get some turnovers, get some stops to really give his offense a chance, just like they had there. Unfortunately for Texas State fans, offense unable to capitalize. Talking to Coach Desormeaux of the Cajuns, he was thrilled with how his defense has been playing, and he said his defense making those turnovers has led to their lead now. But he was very clear that they can't take their foot off the pedal with how explosive this Texas State offense is. Dan, Eric, back to you guys.
Thanks, Ben. Flag before we play. Cajuns are going to get hit for movement before the snap. I don't know if we'll get a chance to look at that fourth down play. That was huge on that stop. And Eric, they went to one of their key guys now. Chris Dawn's the second-team preseason all-conference pick. But that's a big-time defensive play by Brent Gordon, who was 2 times the District 5-4A Defensive Player of the Year here locally. Perry gets the call, and he is hit hard right when he gets back to the line of scrimmage.
Flag comes in.
Personal foul, illegal blindside block, offense, number 13.
Our referee Brandon
15-yard
Kirkland said
penalty.
blindside block on one of the Cajuns. So a couple penalties have set up a long way to go. Look at the left of your screen. Here comes the block out of nowhere, and you hit the defenses. That was Charles Robertson, the wide receiver, came across and made the contact. They'll walk it off from the 32, and this is a big one. Down to the 17-yard line. So now it's first down and a Chafalaya Basin.
Louisiana going the wrong direction on this drive. Let's see how aggressive they choose to be here. 1st and 30.
Perry gets the call. He's trying to bounce it outside. He's got some running room. Picks up a little bit of the penalty yardage back over the 25 out to about the 26.
Big 9, 2nd and 21.
Javis Minett, the Wofford transfer, makes the tackle. Minett had 5 tackles against both Troy and Marshall in those tough overtime losses that the Bobcats had. 2nd and still 21. Winfield's going to take it himself, and he is tripped up right at the 30-yard line. And I tell you what, if Ryan Nolan doesn't make a shoestring tackle, Winfield might still be running. Really good defensive play by the junior from Gainesville, Florida.
Yeah, just enough to get him down. Good lead block that time as Perry was the lead blocker. Kicks him out, allows Lunch to get upfield, and now third, still behind the sticks, 3rd and 17.
Louisiana needs to get to the 47 to pick up a first down. Davis on the run, and he's got some running room. He's going to be hit hard at the 40. Still going to come up about 6 yards short of the first down, but Louisiana gets out of the deep hole before Bobby Crosby makes the tackle. It looked for a moment like the offense was staying on the field.
They didn't want to come off.
And, the punt unit's still not out there. Now they will come on. Louisiana has not punted since its first possession.
Number 92, Nathan Tornado. Back to receive number 11, Sparks.
Sparks stands at his own 20.
Nathan Torney.
Oh, high snap.
Comes down with it, gets away the spinner kick. And it's going to roll over and still rolling. He's going to get better than we thought when it came off his foot.
Wow.
So that's where Texas State will take over 1st and 10 when we come back. 7:17 left in quarter number 3. Cajuns still lead this one by 18. Of ESPN college football all in one place. With the all-new ESPN app, you can download it, or you can log in or contact your service provider and level up for the best experience. And you can do it just in time for all the postseason action in college football. Conference championships not that far away in first week of December, and then of course the college football playoff action. Here we've got action from the 27-yard line of the Bobcats. Texas State has it 1st and 10, halfway through quarter number 3. And Perry gets the call on 1st down. He will weave his way forward, pick up about 3 yards to the 30 before Lance Williams is there to make the stop, the sophomore from New Orleans and Holy Cross High School.
And on the defensive side, Coach Des talked about the big plays. They had the one big run in that first half, but other than that, some sure tackling by the Raging Cajuns have limited those chunk plays and big plays.
2nd and 7, Jackson flips it out and just barely making the stop. Chris Dawn was trying to sneak his way between. He had a couple blockers out in front, and he almost split the seam here.
Yeah, he did. Great job by those wide receivers and maybe a tight end down there of opening up that hole right there. Some great blocks on the perimeter.
Cody Jackson made the shoestring tackle again, but not before. Picked up the 1st down, and Jackson's going to be back to throw again, and he'll throw over to the left side, and again he'll put it into the hands of Bo Sparks. Sparks had a big first half. Had 6 catches for 119 yards. Brent Gordon made the tackle as again Texas State plays some pace. Flip out to the right side. It's going to be a short gain this time to Perry. Jaden Duggar, the Mike linebacker for Louisiana, was there to make the stop.
Big time play from
Quickly,
Duggar.
it's 3rd and short.
Yeah, Duggar comes sprinting right there, making another solo tackle. A lot of these guys doing a great job. Some sure tackling from the Raging Cajuns.
Perry gets the call. He is stood up.
Don't think he got it.
They're going to spot him short. They're going to spot him just outside the 46, and he needed to get to the 47. Texas State 0 for 1 on 4th down. And they actually put him right at the 46. They need almost a full yard. Perry has it, and he will squeeze forward. Boy, he does a good job of picking his way along there and finding just enough of a seam to get the 1st down. Duggar again on the stop. And quickly the Bobcats back to it on 1st down. Flip over the middle. Complete to Perry. Duggar and Williams are in on the stop. Jaden Duggar leads the Cajuns in tackles this year with 84. The next high is 62. Deep downfield and got an open man again. Getting behind the defense, Chris Dawn. And he is down to the Cajun 1-yard line. This is a big play offense. And there's another big play turned in by the junior from Dallas. And Brad Jackson was able to get him the football. Actually, they'll spot it back at the 5, and
I think you're going to make sure he caught that.
replay is going to call for a look.
Looked like he bobbled it a little bit going down as Flowers recovered and got in there.
So Colin Backert, our replay official, and Jay Haygood,
Ruling on
our
the field is a
communicator,
completed catch. The previous play is under video review.
going to take another look at it. Replay has not been kind to the Bobcats tonight. And we'll wait and see what we'll find. They were going to see if Dawn was able to maintain control as he was going to the ground. Here we get a look at it. Certainly looks like he has it there. But then
Flowers gets a piece, yeah.
Yeah, it was knocked away. But did he have control before that?
Man, if that hits the turf right there, great recovery from Flowers.
See the ball almost come out from behind him.
After video
out
review,
of his right arm.
the ruling
Now,
of the catch is upheld. First down, Texas State.
the call is going to be upheld, and that's probably the right call. I really didn't see enough on there that would offer a chance at an overturn.
Yeah, Dawn Jr. just gets by Flowers. He does recover. I mean, he could have just quit, gave up the touchdown, but sprints back, does make the tackle, punches at the football, but doesn't knock it loose enough to cause that incompletion, and now Texas State knocking on the door.
1st and goal from the 6. Perry is in the backfield with Jackson. Fakes the handoff. Jackson's back to throw. This one's thrown out to the right side, incomplete. He was looking for Dawn again, and again it was Flowers who was right there with him. Not much of a window to throw that football.
Good coverage right there as he little spin to the outside, trying to get Flowers to bite on the inside move. Does a nice job planting and staying with that receiver. Breaks it up.
That's 2 Dallas products that were going at it against each other. Jackson, quick hitter over on the left side, and that's an easy score for Bo Sparks. And now flags come flying in, and I'm wondering if he was so wide open, you have to wonder if there was some kind of pick play.
Can only do that in basketball. As we saw last night, a few picks.
Pass interference.
Yep.
It is going to be offensive pass interference.
15-yard penalty.
And again, a penalty really is devastating for Texas State. They had a couple in the first half that, one, extended a Cajun drive, and 2, really killed the Texas State drive. And this is one that takes away a touchdown. And it's a big one. It's 15 yards.
Yeah, he pretty much starts blocking before the ball was thrown and just pushes him back into the end zone. That was Evans there, number 2.
Probably Kylan Evans, the redshirt freshman from McKinney, Texas, who was hit for the penalty.
Take the points off the board.
So now it's 2nd and goal, but it's way back at the 21-yard line. Perry in the backfield. Jackson will roll out. He'll throw it back to Perry, and he's got a convoy in front of him. He has finally hit hard at the 5-yard line and knocked out of bounds. Well-designed play. Flowers makes the saving hit.
A little misdirection, fakes like he's going to run, spins around, throws it. Nice throw, nice catch. Flowers comes over, upends him right here. Big hit at about the 4-yard line. Actually 6-yard line.
Yeah, his foot actually hit on the out-of-bounds stripe just before he got to the 5-yard line.
Yep.
So now it's 3rd and goal from there. Dawn comes in motion. Jackson looking, he's throwing, and broken up. Fitzgerald West got a hand on it. The pass was intended for the tight end Blake Smith, the Oklahoma transfer. 2nd year in the Bobcat program. As we get another look at it here, and he was open right at the snap, but you see the Cajuns, actually was just knocked down by West. Cajuns did converge on the intended receiver. So that's going to bring on Tyler Robles. Now 13 out of 15 this year. It's been very accurate. This one will be from 24 yards. And he splits the uprights with this one. Texas State gets the field goal. Cajuns still lead this one by 15, but it's now a 2-score game. 2:57 left in period number 3. Louisiana leads Texas State 35-20. You're watching Sunbelt football on ESPN+. quarterbacks in this game, Brad Jackson and Lunch Winfield, both reflect their head coaches. And Coach, of course, Cajun and Coach Mike Desormeaux put up some really impressive numbers during his career as a quarterback. He had 8 different games that he had 100 yards both rushing and passing in the same game. The only guy with more than that's a guy named Brian Mitchell. Played a long time in the NFL. He actually led the Cajuns in rushing when he was a junior. He rushed for 1,141 yards and averaged almost 7 yards a carry from the quarterback spot. He still ranks in the Cajun top 10 in both rushing, passing, and total offense. He was the dual threat quarterback. Before that was popular. Onside kick attempt. Ball was loose for just a second, but it looks like Louisiana's going to come up with it. Alert play, and I think it was Kerry Wilson, the redshirt junior safety from Destrehan, who came up with the recovery as the Bobcats try to change the field position early. But now Louisiana winds up with good field position, just a yard shy of midfield. Here you get a look at it, and that was an alert play. So 1st and 10 Cajuns. Davis gets the call, and he will push his way forward for about 2 or 3. Davis now with 76 yards rushing in the game to go with the touchdown. Javis Minette, one of several of the Bobcats in there on the tackle. They'll actually credit a gain of 2. It'll be 2nd and 8 as they cross midfield at the 49. Winfield will be back to throw under some pressure. Lobs it out here and just did a good job just to get the pass away. And Caden Jensen is there on the stop and got a Cajun down hurt. That's Bryant Williams.
Timeout for an offensive injury.
He's back on his feet, but he is moving slowly, and he's been one of the guys that has fought through some injuries in that Cajun offensive front. Louisiana's offensive line has had 14 different players see action in just the last 6 games.
Yeah, got that leg rolled up. Great to see him walking off under his own power. Let's see how much more he can go, but I'm sure he wants to stay in there. He's going to head to the sideline.
A loss of 1 on the play.
Texas State defense really playing well here. This is a short field after the onside kick, and they may force another punt here as we play 3rd and long for Lunch and the Raging Cajun offense.
Louisiana 9 out of 12 on 3rd downs. They were 8 out of 9 in the first half. Winfield will keep it himself, and he is wrapped up. But the flags are flying, and that's going to be another huge penalty on the Bobcats. And you know that's got to frustrate G.J. Kinney.
I think Alexander got him.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 29, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
We'll get a look at it, but it was Khalil Alexander.
Yeah, they called 29, but it was 2.
It was Alexander who got hold of the face mask, and you saw his frustration after the play. But that's going to move it all the way down to the Bobcat 35-yard line. Winfield will hand off to Perry, actually to Davis. Davis will pick up about 3. You know, the Bobcats, they have only 4 penalties in the game, but all 4 of them have been either drive stopping or drive continuing. They have all been keys in this game. Pickup of about 3 for Davis. We haven't seen Zylan Perry since he went off just a few minutes ago. Davis again, and this time he is hitting the backfield. Amapolizi Langi. Longy, rather. Amapolizi Longy, the product of Laihui, Hawaii. Played at Houston for a couple of years, in his second year with the Bobcat program. Had a big game against Troy a couple of weeks ago. 3 tackles, 3 for loss, and a sack. And he has set Louisiana up now with a 3rd and long once again from the 34. Winfield will flip it out to Davis. He's got some running room, and he is going to be really close to the first down marker. And he's going to come up about a yard short. Actually, it'll be less than a yard. They're going to spot it just short of the 25-yard line. And it was a good spot. That's where he went out just before the chains, and Louisiana is going to take, they're going to take the break between quarters. That's the end of the third quarter.
The end of the third period.
The Raging Cajuns leading Texas State 35-20, and they'll see a key for 4th down when we return. You're watching Sunbelt Football on ESPN+. Games in the Sun Belt Conference today. There was actually a Thursday night game. Georgia Southern won at App State 25-23. today, Marshall was right there with James Madison. James Madison got a late score and ended up winning by 12. Southern Miss with a thrilling win at Arkansas State. Southern Miss leads the country in interceptions, and they got 5 more today. And Coastal Carolina break up the Chanticleers 40-27. 4th down for Louisiana, and they did get the Bobcats to jump. Did they or not? We'll have to wait and see, but it looked like Texas State might have been across the line to make contact.
Offside.
And they will walk it off, and there is another crushing penalty for this Bobcat team.
Results in a first down.
Bobcats have to be pulling their hair out right now. Bryce Carter, backup nose tackle from Virginia, redshirt senior, was the guilty party. And Louisiana picks up another first down to start the 4th quarter. Winfield will take it himself. He'll get inside the 20, and here comes another flag. This one might go against the Cajuns. We might have another one of those blindside blocks, but Louisiana players are pointing toward Texas State, and they're going to call the face mask.
Defense, number 29. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
Thought I saw another block back behind around back where the linebackers normally are, but the face mask call is going to come in, and well, if it weren't for bad luck, the Bobcats wouldn't have any at all tonight. That'll put it at the 9-yard line, 1st and goal. Davis is the running back. Strother in motion. Davis gets the call. He is wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage. That time Texas State closed down that hole. Devarick Woods is one of the guys in there, the Louisiana product. Actually going to lose about a foot. Ball's just about touching the 10-yard line. And it will be 2nd and goal. Two receivers to either side. Now the tight end Jensen comes back in. Davis, he had a little hole for a second, squeezes his way through. He's down to the 3, down to the 2. Ball came out for a moment, but Davis was down at the 3-yard line before it came out. So 3rd down now for Louisiana from the 3-yard line. We'll see what Mike Desormeaux and offensive coordinator Tim Leger dial up here on what is basically a 2-point conversion play here. Winfield will take it himself. He'll try to outrun everybody, and he will get into the end zone. Lunch Winfield with his 2nd touchdown rushing of the night. He's got 7 this year. Louisiana adds to its lead.
Looks like it was designed to go between the tackles. Nothing there. Uses his speed to turn the corners. You can see everything plugged up. Linebacker fills that hole, makes him go to the outside. Enough speed to get into the end zone.
Tony Sterner's 5 for 5 tonight. Make that 6 for 6. 13 minutes and 2 seconds left here in quarter number 4. Louisiana expands its lead. Cajuns lead 42-20. You're watching Sunbelt football on ESPN+.
that everyone in the Lafayette community knows. Demand Dudley DeBosier.
We're the law firm that loves helping people, especially our fellow Ragin' Cajun fans.
From Opelousas to Abbeville, from Crowley to Breaux Bridge, we're here to serve the Acadiana area.
We're available by phone or online 24/7, or come see us at our office on Camellia Boulevard.
Fighting for Ragin' Cajun fans everywhere. We got Lafayette covered. Demand Dudley DeBosier, the official injury lawyers of the Louisiana Ragin' Cajuns.
From church auditoriums to corporate conference rooms and educational classrooms, pro audio and video, control systems and lighting, interactive boards and digital signages. Our professional teams will lead you through the consultation and design process. Go Media is your go-to for everything AV.
Hub City Ford is proud to support Louisiana athletics, and we've been providing transportation to the university since 1943. Hub City Ford's Man of the Year award goes to Bill Davis, recognizing excellence on and off the field. He's a natural leader. Just like Hub City Ford, his commitment and dedication have been keys to his success. This award, inspired by Louisiana legend Calvin James, comes with an all-electric Ford Mustang Mach-E. Good luck, Bill, and go Cajuns!
Sunbelt standings updated, including the games today, of course, not including this game. Who would have thought that Southern Miss would be 5-0 in conference play? And they're pretty much in the driver's seat in the West Division. You see Arkansas State, Louisiana, 3rd and 4th. They play each other 12 days from now. James Madison didn't come back, but really opened it up toward the end to go 6-0 in the league. Coastal is now 5-1. They're only one game back, and those two teams play each other later on. They might be playing for the East Division Championship. Logan Klotz will again be on to kick it off. And finding a little bit of running room at the 25, is finally dragged down at the 29-yard line. That's DJ Taylor once again. He has taken over here in the second half. Jalen Jenkins, the normal kickoff returner. Don't know if Jenkins got dinged up. And it will be 1st and 10 Bobcats right at the 30-yard line. Brad Jackson still operating at the quarterback spot. 17 of 22 for 240 yards tonight. Flips an easy one out to Sparks. Sparks will pick up another first down on a quick out. Terrence Williams is there to make the stop, but that's the 8th catch of the ball game for Bo Sparks. He came in leading the Sunbelt Conference in receptions, and he'll be leaving as the Sunbelt Conference leader. 1st and 10 at the 41. Jackson again back to throw, and again he's going to throw the quick out, and again it's going to be Sparks. He gets a little nudge out of bounds. Avery Demery, redshirt freshman from Manville, Texas. So another first down. 2 plays, 2 firsts on the quick out. Jackson will go the other side, and this one's bobbled incomplete. Threw just a little bit behind Dawn, but a pass that was still catchable. Brent Gordon Jr. was the closest defender. So it will be 2nd down from the 49. Reverse is going to come to Sparks. He's got a convoy as he cuts it up the middle, still going. He's going to split the difference and take it all the way in for a touchdown. 49 yards for Bo Sparks on the carry. That is his first rush of the year. And it goes for a 49-yard score. And the Bobcats needed that in the worst way.
Yeah, great play call. A little over pursuit there as he's able to turn the corner and then cut back right up the middle of the field. Nobody home. He takes it all the way to the house. And looks like they're going to go for 2 here.
7th touchdown of the year for Sparks. The first 6, of course, coming by receptions. And here comes the 2-point play from Jackson. He's looking, he's throwing, and that's going to hit the upright. That one got away from him a little bit. 12 minutes and 5 seconds left here in the 4th quarter. Don't go anywhere. And this game can go a lot of directions. Cajuns lead it 42-26.
Hub City Ford.
The season ended today. It will be James Madison taking on Southern Miss for the conference championship, but there are a lot of other things that teams will be playing for in these last 3 weeks, and most notably trying to get to bowl eligibility. 5 teams
Louisiana,
in the Sun Belt
now
are already
number 49.
bowl eligible, and there are several others that can get there, a total of 12. The Cajuns, or rather the Sun Belt, had 8 teams in bowl games last year. 2 years ago, they set what at the time was a national record. They had 12 teams from the conference that played in bowl games. We'll be watching that over the next 3 weeks, and we'll also be watching this kickoff. Texas State went with the onside kick last time on the kickoff. We'll see what happens here. This one, though, they're going to kick it away. That's going to fly into the end zone. Louisiana had 10 guys up within 5 yards of the line. So Louisiana will take over 1st and 10 at the 25. No surprise, Michael James, the kicker, 27 out of 48 on touchbacks this year. So he can put it in the end zone whenever he wants to. Cajuns will have the football at the 25-yard line. Leading by 16. 68 points scored in this game. And one thing that does, that means there are a few people that are happy. 63.5 on the over-under, again, just for informational purposes only. 1st and 10, Louisiana. Winfield's going to call his own number, and he's going to make it out to about the 30-yard line. Shoestring tackle by Cole Nillis. Came out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Played a year at Bryant before coming to the Bobcats. And Louisiana, you know that they're not going to be in any hurry here.
And Perry back into the game. He's in the pistol behind Lunch Winfield.
And that is good to see after he went out holding an arm just for a second. He goes in motion, empty backfield for Winfield now. And this is just a design quarterback rush. That's going to pick up about 2 yards. Nilles again. He must be the spy right now watching Winfield. The Cajuns will have a 3rd and 3. Winfield now with 13 carries for 34 yards. Along with the 2 touchdowns, Louisiana has rushed for 177. Texas State has rushed for 169 in the game. Winfield's going to call his own signal again, and he's going to have the first down. As he dives forward, splits a couple of defenders. He'll get it out to about the 36-yard line. And I would be very surprised if Louisiana puts it in the air very much the rest of the way. As you see the Texas State Bobcat down on the hillside, getting in a little leg work as he sprints up that big hill. 1st and 10, wrapped up in the backfield this time is Perry. He's going to lose a couple yards. Khalil Alexander, the redshirt senior, gets his 7th tackle for loss of the year. He came in leading the Bobcats in that category. Loss of about 2, it'll be 2nd and 12. Davis checks in the backfield. Cajuns have 3 receivers out left. Davis trying to find some running room, and boy, Winfield took a pop in the backfield. And he's a little slow to get up. Alexander took a shot at him. I mean, clean shot, but it was a heavy shot. Michael Baudouin makes the tackle on Davis on the far side out of about the 38. 3rd down and 8. Right after the handoff. Winfield will bring Jensen around to the right, fakes the toss, and now he'll roll out. And he'll flip it to the tight end.
Oh, no.
But it's taken away. That'll go down as an interception. And the Bobcats have the football on the Cajuns' end of the field. Michael Baudouin made the tackle on the last play. I believe he comes up with the interception here.
Last thing you wanted to do right there.
1st down, Texas State.
Hang on to it, go down, keep the clock running, punt it away. Now they have ball in positive territory. Another takeaway for the Texas State defense here in the 2nd half.
That'll be an interception.
Another deflection too, flips it up there, tries to bring it in off of Texas State. And normally when the ball's deflected and tipped, the defense has a better chance of coming up with it because everybody is behind the play coming toward the ball, and that's a takeaway again, another pick.
Winfield now has 6 interceptions this year. 4 of them have now been on tipped balls. And a chance for the Bobcats to really make this one interesting. With 8.5 minutes left.
Pass.
Perry's going to throw it back.
There he is.
And he's going to throw deep down the field, and it's going to be caught for a touchdown. The flea flicker goes to Bo Sparks. And it only takes the Bobcats 1 play to really make this one interesting.
Oh my goodness, what a play and what a throw.
Perry took the handoff. He threw it back over to Jackson, and it was a reverse pass. The first one was backwards.
A lateral, correct. There's another look. The pitch. Throws it back, definitely a lateral, steps into it, and just gets there right before the defender tries to chase it back down. That was number 10, Demery, could not get there in time.
Sparks now has a touchdown rushing and a touchdown receiving. Bobcats will go for 2 to try to make it a 1-score game, but tripped up in the backfield. Jackson had an alley, but lost his footing, and the Cajuns still hold a 10-point lead. 8:19 left in quarter number 4. Cajuns 42, Bobcats 32. Sparks is only 5'11" and 177, but the junior from El Paso has been the big play guy for this team.
And he has been electric. My goodness, he's been almost unstoppable. And this reverse right here takes it to the house, and then a great play call on the lateral, throwing it back to the quarterback. He gets behind the defense right here. You see the lateral back, and then gets behind the defender, and a nice throw. Jackson gets it to him, and we have ourselves a ball game.
Sparks had a 49-yard run that you saw for his first rush of the year, and then caught it just a moment ago, caught the 38-yard touchdown. It's a 10-point game, probably should be an 8-point game. Brad Jackson had a walk-in 2-point conversion before he slipped down in the backfield.
Yeah, I think he tripped on one of his linemen who was trying to block for him, just stepped back, inadvertently trips him up. But you're right, that would have been a 2-point conversion converted.
And it's not the onside kick. It's going to go down and handled at the 5-yard line, and bringing it back out to about the 30. That's again going to be Jacorian Norris. And that's where Louisiana will set up. A little bit of pushing and shoving after that tackle, but nothing serious. Broken up quickly, and Louisiana will have the football. They'll start at the 29. Texas State has 468 yards in offense in this game, 299 in the air.
A lot of credit to this Texas State defense. A couple of times they could have quit, but they kept battling. Got the takeaways, giving the ball to their offense, and the offense has converted.
Perry on the carry. He'll be stopped after a gain of about 2 yards. Michael Baudouin, who got the interception and got a tackle earlier, is there to make the stop again. 2nd down and 8. As the clock continues to run inside 8 minutes. Robert Williams is the wide receiver, was trying to figure out the play. Now he'll take a spot in the slot on the left side as there's 4 seconds on the play clock, and I think the Cajuns are going to use one of their timeouts.
Timeout, Louisiana. Their first of the half. 30-second timeout.
Louisiana has 2 Sun Belt games left after this. Texas State still with 3 games to go in the regular season. They'll play each of the next 3 Saturdays. They'll be traveling to Hattiesburg to take on that red-hot Southern Miss team next week. And then they'll close it out with a couple of other West Division rivals. They'll be hosting ULM and hosting South Alabama in the last 2 weekends of the regular season. Of course, the Bobcats can still get to bowl eligibility at 3-5. They need 3 wins out of the last 4 in order to become bowl eligible for the 3rd straight year. They won their bowl games each of the last 2 years. They had 8-win seasons. And they still have an outside shot at doing the same thing here if they can win 4 and then win in the bowl game. But if they do that, they've still got to come back from a 10-point deficit in this one. Second and 8 for Louisiana. Perry is the running back. Winfield will take it himself. He's going to throw out here, and the catch is made and then knocked away. Sampson had it in his hands for just a moment, but Jaden Rios is the guy that batted it away. And now it's a 3rd down.
Great play from Rios. He had a step on him, and he covers, gets to him, and is able to rip that ball out. Great play.
So 3rd and 8 for Louisiana from their own 31. Williams comes in motion. Perry gets the call. He'll get nothing. In fact, he's going to lose a couple of yards.
And Perry just doesn't look healthy, and he's staying
still down
yeah.
on the turf. Khalil Alexander is the guy who made the tackle.
Timeout on the field for an injury to the offense.
And the Bobcats forcing what's going to be an apparent punt for the Cajuns. And right now the concern is for Zylan Perry, the redshirt junior from Franklin.
A lot of credit to this Texas State defense. Louisiana offense really conservative with the big lead, wanted to keep the ball on the ground. But the Texas State defense, a couple of takeaways, forcing a punt here. Definitely right in this game with 7:05 left when everybody thought this one might have been over.
Perry was holding his arm when he went off the field after an earlier, about 2 possessions ago. And he's still having to get some help to get back to his feet. And gingerly walking over toward the Cajun sideline. Perry, the leading rusher this year, 543 yards, averaging almost 6 yards a carry with 7 touchdowns. And now the concern for him is not only the rest of this game, but these final 2 games that Louisiana will play, and they have to have both of them if they want to continue their season as bowl eligible. Nathan Torney will be on to punt for the 3rd time in the ball game, averaging 43 yards a kick this year. Had a really athletic move last time just to get a punt off, as he had to go way high to get a high snap. Louisiana will bleed the clock down before the snap. Tony has it again, gets this one away, and this is a high one that's going to go down to the 25-yard line.
Guess who? First
guy misses it. Sparks has it, and he is going to be run out of bounds over at about the 35-yard line. What a big game he has had. (42-32), and here's how the Bobcats got back in it. This was Sparks breaking the reverse and going 49 yards for a touchdown. And then the takeaway on the tip-up interception. That led to a touchdown on the first play on the flea flicker. And here goes Jackson again. He'll dump it off and knocked out of bounds after a short gain. Pass is complete to Perry. Pickup of about 5 up to the 40. As the clock will continue to run. Second down and 5. Anderson goes in motion. They'll flip it out again to, this time he puts it back into the hands of Perry, and he'll have just enough to pick up the first down.
Nice hands by Perry. One-handed catch right there. Out of bounds, 1st and 10, and move the chains. And Louisiana's defense got really conservative, kind of kept the receivers in front, and that's what you do when you have a big lead. But the big plays by the Bobcats have them in this game. Here's another big play.
Jackson will put it back into Perry's hands. He'll be inside the Cajun 40 down to about the 39. For yet another Bobcat first down. They've got 18 in the game. Cajuns had 17 first downs in the first half, but they've only had 5 here in the second half. Jackson under some pressure, trying to avoid it now as he goes out to the left side, and he is going to be run out of bounds. Jordan Lawson was the guy who was chasing him on the side. No gain on the play. Actually, it's going to be a loss of a yard. That'll be Lawson's 8th tackle for minus yardage this year. That leads the Louisiana team. 2nd and 11 from the 40.
Clock continues to roll.
Inside 5 minutes. Jackson again on the left side and powering his way forward. That's going to be the tight end Blake Smith.
First down.
Had 6 catches all season. He's got a couple tonight. Brent Gordon Jr. is there for the tackle. And yet another first down inside the 30. Jackson back to throw. He's going to throw it deep.
Flag.
They're going to throw a flag.
PI.
But the pass looked like it bounced off the headgear of Brent Gordon.
Yeah, never turned around and played the ball. Yep.
Pass interference. Defense number 11. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Some officials in the stands disagree.
Yeah, there are a few boo birds out there from some of the fans that are still around, but you're exactly right, Eric. Gordon did not turn around, didn't play the ball when the ball hit him, but some contact down the field. So 1st and 10. And we're at the 14-yard line. And it has not taken. Oh, bad snap. Jackson has to pick it up. He'll throw it out here toward the end zone.
Did he catch that?
Did he make the catch? No, they'll say incomplete.
Wow.
Dawn wants him to take a look at it. He thinks he has a touchdown.
Man, I want to see this again, too. This might be an unbelievable catch. What a great effort just to bring it in after the rolled snap. Watch this with his left hand. Wow, is that close.
But I'm wondering if he did not complete the catch.
There it is.
May have been out of bounds.
They're going to look at it.
Replay is going to take a look, but
man, his elbow gets down. Wow, this is going to be a monster call.
The wonder is if that ball also hit the turf. You saw his arm try to cradle it in.
My goodness.
And boy, I tell you, if this is reversed, this is an unbelievable catch by Chris Dawn.
And what a throw, too. The snap was rolled to him, and he got that left arm. Looked like he kept it under, but did he come down?
Did he have
inbounds?
control also before he went out of bounds?
I think he did. Right there.
Oh my. I don't know.
Oh, now he's fumbling.
Yeah, he is
moving as he's sliding.
Yeah, the ball's still moving from this look. At least in our look at it, still moving, and he's now out of bounds before he maintained possession. Yeah, I think he hit the out-of-bounds stripe before he got full possession.
What an effort. And the snap was actually rolled to Jackson.
Yeah.
He picks it up and throws a back shoulder throw, which is right on the money. And almost an unbelievable catch for a touchdown. And they're taking a look at it. Here we go.
Big-time throw by Jackson.
After video review, the ruling of an incomplete pass is upheld.
Yep.
Second down.
They will upheld the incomplete pass.
Wow.
And Brad Jackson hasn't had very many of those. He's now 24 out of 31 for 336 yards and a couple of touchdowns.
Really in rhythm here in the second half.
This should not have come as a surprise. He had 444 a couple weeks ago, the last time Texas State played on the road at Marshall. That was in an overtime loss.
2nd and 10 here.
Louisiana trying to hold on.
Find Bo Sparks. Can't let him get open.
Texas State has found the answer offensively here in the second half. Now Jackson's under some pressure. Shakes loose. He'll flip it out here again to Perry, who gets pushed out of bounds at about the 10-yard line. It's going to be a pickup of about 5 yards. Brent Gordon Jr. And again, Jackson did a good job of extending the play. But it's going to be a 3rd down, 3rd and 7. They'll put it at the 11.
And he really did extend that play right there to get a few yards. They just cannot get him to the ground in the second half.
Perry is in the backfield with Jackson. He's back to throw now. He'll keep it himself. The design quarterback run. But there's a hold back behind, and that's going to come back. And Texas State's going to hurt itself once again with a key penalty.
Strong got him.
3rd down.
Dorian Strong.
Dorian Strong, the redshirt senior, transfer from Incarnate Word.
Pretty easy call right there as he keeps the defensive end from getting out there to Jackson. Let's see if we can take a look. Yep, look at him on the end. Watch as he goes to his left. He just right there with the left arm.
And you know, Strong's a good one. He was a first-team preseason pick by both the Phil Steele and Athlon preseason teams.
Now they're behind the chains here. 3rd and 17.
You know, a field goal is not the worst thing for Texas State right here. And Jackson's got to be smart about that. He's going to throw it toward the end zone. He's found an open man, and he's got it for a touchdown. Chris Dawn split a couple of Cajun defenders. And Dawn's got his first touchdown, his 7th catch of the night. And just like that, it's a field goal game if Robles can tack on the extra point.
Yeah, kind of an option route. You have someone in the flat, and boy, that's a nice throw. And 3 black jerseys just kind of standing around, nobody covering the wide receiver.
The redshirt sophomore has it up, has it between the pipes.
Big extra point.
3:12 left in this one. And it's a long way from being over. Cajuns lead by a field goal, 42-39. We called the shootout before we ever started. This is already the most points that Texas State has ever scored against Louisiana. And the 81 points scored by the two teams combined is the most, it's the highest scoring game in the series, in a series that has had mostly high scoring games. So how will the Bobcats play this? They tried an onside kick earlier. The last 2 times they kicked deep. Texas State does have 2 timeouts left. So if they can get a defensive stop, they'll get the football. Michael James comes running back over to get a word with some of the Bobcat coaching staff. And a lot of the Bobcats are in tight. Only one man well outside the hash marks. Now they will slip out, but still in pretty tight formation. And it's a number down the field. Cajuns will have it, and he'll kneel down at the 19-yard line. It's not a fair catch situation, so that's where Louisiana will start it.
First and 10 for the Cajuns at their 20-yard line.
He did have some time to do something with that kick after he got it under control. So now it's very simple. Louisiana needing a couple of first downs to run this one out, or else they give it back to a Bobcat team that has been red hot offensively over the last quarter and a half. Winfield will take it himself, and he is going to be brought down in the backfield.
Timeout, Texas State. They've got 3.
The Bobcats take a timeout. Byron Carter, Bryce Carter, makes the stop for lost yardage. That is his 4th tackle for loss this year. It will be 2nd and 13, and the Cajun offense
Texas
is
State, their first of the
slow
half.
to a crawl
It'll be a
here in the 4th
30-second
quarter.
timeout. Game clock operator, please put 3:05 on the clock. 3:05.
They'll add a
Thank you.
second back on the clock. It will be 3:05 left as Texas State takes its first timeout. If you like offense, you like what you've seen so far. 528 yards in total offense for Texas State, including 360 provided by quarterback Brad Jackson. Cajuns very balanced offensively, 180 yards rushing, 173 yards passing. But they have not been very effective offensively since halftime.
Yeah, pretty much abandoned the pass here in the second half with the big lead. Very conservative. A couple of takeaways from Texas State, and Jackson got cooking and is having a monster night.
Cajuns had 285 yards at halftime. So they're right at 100 yards in the second half. Winfield will throw over the middle, and that was a dangerous pass. Intended for Robert Williams.
Wow, that's the danger in throwing. Burn 3 seconds off the clock right there. Clock stops. Now you're 3rd and long behind the sticks.
Still 3rd and 13. And all the momentum on the side of Texas State now. Cajuns had an 18-point lead at the half. Winfield back to throw. He'll throw over the middle. That's complete. And a big completion. Shelton Sampson.
And 15.
And another killer penalty is going to be called on the Bobcats.
Big time throw and catch there for the first down.
Personal foul. Targeting. Defense number 1.
Now they'll look at this
that
for
play
a
is under
targeting
video
call.
review.
So our referee, Brandon Kirkland, will go over to the replay. Bobby Crosby, I believe, was the guy who came running in. We'll get a chance to take another look at it. Sampson makes the catch. And here comes Crosby, and I don't know if that's targeting. I don't think that is. I think that's a football play. He tried to pull his head away. Now, was the receiver in the defenseless position? That's the only thing I can see, but there was no crown of the helmet contact. In fact, I think Crosby did all he could to try to not commit any kind of personal foul, but we will wait and see what they will come up with on replay.
Yeah, he did turn and lean with his forearm and shoulder. That's a nice play as he came up right there, but let's see what they decide. Still looking at it.
We'll get a look at it.
After video review, there is no targeting on the play. First down for Louisiana.
No targeting. I think they were possibly also looking at maybe did he launch? You know, not really. I think he was almost stationary, and Sampson was the guy that was still moving forward.
Yep. But a big first down right there. Winfield delivers. Sampson with a nice route.
So the Cajuns do not get the extra 15, but they do get the first down at the 36.
And really had to have that one the way Jackson's playing. If you punted it right there and give him all this time.
And
offside,
a free play now for Louisiana as they're going to throw deep.
And another flag.
And there's going to be a flag for interference.
Penalties. If Texas State doesn't pull this out, that's what you can look at right there.
And you know, the clock was running after they spotted the ball, so the Cajuns didn't have to snap it that quickly. But they're going to get the penalty anyway. And I'm sure somebody on the Cajun sideline is going to say, you know, watch the play clock.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both by the defense. Offside.
They'll
Number
wave
2,
off the offside.
That penalty will be declined.
And they'll take the pass interference penalty.
Defense.
And will bring
number
it out
4,
just past midfield.
15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
8 penalties now for 89 yards for the Bobcats, and just about every one of them has been in a key situation. As you get another look at it, and just like the penalty that was going the other way in the end zone, that time Darius Jackson didn't turn around, didn't pick up the football.
And smart play from Winfield just to throw it out there. Knew he had a free play. Even if it's picked off, they'll take the offsides. Oh, snap it. He wasn't ready for it. Might have been offsides again.
Throw out on the sideline. That's batted away, but I do think we're going to have another flag.
Yep,
and yes, it's going to be offsides
Bobcats.
On the Bobcats. And
wow,
this has become a flag fest.
Just undisciplined
offside.
Football. You've got
defense,
to
number 23.
eliminate those
5-yard
penalties
penalty.
if you're going to win games on the road.
Down.
The one benefit for Texas State is that we are outside of the 2-minute timeout, so you don't have a runoff possibility. But the Cajuns have it 1st and 5 now at the Bobcat 44. Texas State still has the 2 timeouts.
What is going on?
And they're going to back the Bobcats up
offside.
5 more, and this should
defense,
be a first
number
down.
2 with
Why
contact.
did he do that?
5-yard penalty results in a 1st and 10.
Are they trying to, maybe force the bad snap, or
maybe they're letting them score to get the ball back. I don't know what's going on. They're just running across the line.
1st and 10 at the 39. The clock's still at 2:35. This one's actually snapped. Davis will get the call. He'll pick up only about 1 or 2. Bobcats will take their 2nd timeout.
Timeout. Texas State.
Texas State will
That is
also
their
get the
second and a
benefit of the
30-second
2-minute timeout.
Game clock
So
operator,
if they
please
can
set
hold,
the
they
clock
could
to
force the
2:32.
Cajuns into a 4th down
Thank you.
situation. You know, trying to figure that out, and maybe I'm reading too much into it, but they had the 1st and 5.
Yeah.
Maybe they're jumping offside in order to make it again a 1st and 10. Because if the Cajuns get the timeout or get the first down on the 1st and 5, they could run the clock down to the last minute. So that might be really smart clock management. We'll give them credit for that anyway until we find out differently. It will be 2nd and 9 at the 38.
And one more timeout from Texas State, so we'll probably have a run right here, get the timeout, and then play that big 3rd down.
Empty backfield for Winfield.
Lunch will run it.
Davis goes out in motion.
Yep.
Winfield's going to take it right up the middle. He's going to get down to about the 35, and I'm sure Texas State will take their final timeout. It will be 3rd and 6.
Texas State, their 3rd and final of the half.
And they will also get the benefit of the 2-minute timeout with 25 seconds from now.
2:27.
The fans that have stuck it out here have gotten their money's worth here in the second half. The two teams have combined for over 900 yards in offense. Bobcats now with 10 penalties for 99 yards. And the Cajuns 12 out of 18 on 3rd down in this game. They've got the biggest 3rd down of the game right in front of them. 3rd and 6 at the 35. Davis is in the backfield with Winfield. Strother comes in motion. Winfield's going to keep it himself, but the Bobcats stayed at home. They're pushing him forward. They will spot him down at the 32, rather the 31-yard line. It's going to be a 4th and 2 as this clock's going to wind down to the 2-minute timeout. They'll spot it at the 31. And that's where we'll play it from, 4th down. When we return, 2 minutes left in this one. We've got another barn burner. Cajuns 42, Bobcats 39. Again on the road next weekend at Southern Miss, and then 2 home games against ULM and South Alabama to close out the season. Cajuns on the road in 12 days at Arkansas State, and then they'll host ULM for the final game of the year. But nobody's thinking about that right now. All they're thinking, is a 4th and 2. It's pretty simple. The Cajuns pick up a first down here on 4th and 2. They can kneel on the football and walk away with a win. If they do not get the first down, Texas State will take over for a chance for them to win the ball game. Winfield was trying to get the Bobcats to jump off sides. He'll take it himself, and he'll get the first down. Lutch Winfield's going to pick up the first down, and Louisiana is a couple of kneel downs away from taking their 2nd straight win and keeping their postseason hopes alive. Winfield's going to finish the night with about 45 rush yards and a couple of touchdowns. And no yardage was bigger than that 5-yard pickup down to the 24-yard line. Clock will now start. Coach Nick Saban today on College Game Day, they asked his favorite play, victory formation. And that's what Louisiana will do right here. Although we've got a whistle that will stop play.
Delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty.
They'll take the delay of game.
The
so
game
that
clock
will
will
back
start
things up.
on the snap.
They should have to kneel on it twice.
And a lot of credit to the offensive line right there. Those guys in the trenches, you need 2 yards. Coach Dez puts it in Lunch's hands, and you see big number 70, Jax Harrington, leading him through the hole. Now we got some punches thrown.
That's the one thing that Louisiana does not want to happen. I think the officials did a good job of keeping that under control. Clock's going to stop, and a flag has been thrown.
Yep.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense, number 0.
Yep.
15-yard penalty, first
And
down.
that's Tymir Jackson. Take a look over here on the right side of your screen, and
yeah, he threw it left.
Frustration boiling over there. Penalty's going to take it down to the 16, and that's going to be penalty number 11, and the Bobcats are going to be over 100 yards in penalties, and they're going to go back and look at the stat sheet and remember that so many of those were in key situations in this game. $11 penalties for 114 yards, and now we've got another stoppage. Brandon Kirkland's been a busy guy, our referee. And I think they're might be resetting the clock.
The previous foul qualified for a 10-second subtraction. Please set the clock to 1:04 and start on my signal.
So they do have the 10-second runoff. And it will still be first down. And now the clock will roll inside a minute. And actually, if it bleeds down all the way to the end of the play clock, the Cajuns will only have to kneel on it one time. And Winfield is in victory formation. And he will take the knee inside of 40 seconds, and Louisiana does not have to snap it again. Well, what a ball game we had here. Louisiana looked like they were in full control of this one at the half, but Texas State came roaring back. And had it not been for a couple of key penalties, the Bobcats might be escaping out of here with a win. Instead, Louisiana survives its second playoff game. They improved to 4-6 on the season, 3-3 in conference play, and their postseason hopes are still alive, as are Texas State's Bobcats, who fall to 3-6. But now Texas State in a situation they have to run the table and win all 3 of their remaining games.
They're fighting. We got a fight on the field.
We're going to take a break as they try to clear this one up.
This is getting ugly.
Cajuns win this one by a score of 42-39.
Oh my gosh.
Here in Acadiana, excellence is a way of
Welcome back to Our Lady of Lourdes Stadium, where Louisiana wins a wild one tonight. They take a 42-39 win over Texas State. Cajuns jump out to a big lead in the first half and hold on as Texas State rallies. But one of the reasons the Cajuns were able to jump out, and also who got a big touchdown in the second half, that was wide receiver Shelton Sampson. He is our player of the game, and he is with Ben on the sidelines. Ben?
Thank you, Dan. Shelton, you and Lunch were able to find each other a lot tonight. 2 touchdowns, leading the team. What is the relationship like between you and Lunch from quarterback to receiver?
I mean, we got a quarterback-friendly, receiver-friendly relationship. I mean, he trusts me and I trust him, and we go out there and get the job done.
You've had to face a lot of adversity this year, battling through injuries. How does it feel to be where you're at right now with a great performance tonight?
Man, it feels amazing to just overcome adversity and know the light at the end of the tunnel is going to shine eventually.
Coach said coming into this week that every game is a playoff game for you guys right now as you fight to make it into the postseason. How big is this win for your team right now?
Man, it's huge. I mean, we get these seniors another opportunity to, win out the next 2 games and hopefully get an extra game at the end.
Sheldon, thanks so much for joining us, and congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Dan, Eric, back to you guys in the booth.
Thanks, Ben. Thanks, Shelton. Shelton Sampson finishes up with 5 catches for 80 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Eric, talk about his value to this offense. Since he's been healthy over the last 3 games of the year, he had 5 catches for 74 yards and a score against Troy 2 weeks ago, 6 catches for 138 and 2 scores against South Alabama last week. He gets 2 more scores here tonight.
Barn burner tonight. A lot of credit to Texas State for continuing to fight. Couple of big interceptions in that second half. Come up a little short. Congrats to Coach Des and the Raging Cajuns for the home victory tonight.
With the win, Louisiana improves to 4-6 overall, 3-3 in conference play with 2 games still to go. Texas State falls to 3-6 overall. They are 0-5, another tough loss in conference play. For Ben Schaefer on the sideline, and for our amazing crew over in the truck, and for my partner Eric Mouton, I'm Dan McDonald saying so long from Our Lady of Lourdes Stadium. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.